Where? Oh well, whatever. We have 99 followers on the stream now.
Hog? Okay, when we get another follower, I need to unfollow and then refollow. That way I can be the 100th follower. That's my,
That's the big brain.
yeah, yeah. Is my Prime up? When can I Prime again? Oh, it ends today. Okay. Well, my Prime sub will be available in 1 hour. So, in a little over an hour, I suppose I shall continue my sub. Make sure I keep getting these great middle sticks emotes. Like Coggers. Nintendo stuff. If there's any viewers out there, you want to check to see if you have your Twitch Prime available. Are we big enough to show yet or no?
I wish that it worked. I did find that when I was casting like random teams games, that telling people to follow actually did make them follow, so that was kind of neat. So that seems like a strat, but I think that we're not big enough quite to have the people
to show for the primes.
To show for the primes. But...
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay.
I need to post this in like one other place.
Hey, Otso, right on time. Otso, how many points do you have now? You're always here.
Oh, I need to... Hold on. While I talk to my wife, just one second.
Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm glad there's music on the stream. That way I don't feel pressured to fill the silence.
Sorry about that. I was checking with my wife to formally announce that we're getting buttons of a couple of our emotes and our logo, which is super cool. We're going to use them as a stream point reward. I need to check like costs to make sure that I set them in the correct barriers, but you might want to consider, saving some channel points up for those. Maybe, gambling on when we do our predictions so that you can hit those thresholds. But yeah, I'm super hyped for that. And they won't be exclusive to channel points. You'll also be able to purchase them directly from me. But yeah, that's a thing that's gonna happen.
So if you were to estimate the channel points, is this like 3 games casted, or is it like, do you have an estimate, or is that just too early to end?
So the Solo Flex Q cast is 11,000. I was thinking like 2 games casted for one of the buttons, and there's a larger button. Okay, so there's buttons of our emotes that are smaller. There's a couple of different emotes to choose from. Those will probably be about 2 times the Solar Flex Q cast, and then a little bit more than that, maybe like 2.5 will be our logo, which are bigger. So.
Hog. That's super cool.
If I had to estimate, I don't know exactly where we'll end up, but yeah.
Yes, please do. I don't leave the stream open when I'm on stream, so I don't get enough points. I'm only at 25k, so I need to know, if we could have longer games, that way I can build up the points and get to a button. That'd be great.
But yeah, like I said, you'll also be able to purchase them directly from me. They won't be super expensive, but probably even include a pack for all of them. But yeah, I don't have like a storefront, so it's all just gonna be DMs, and hopefully I'll be able to ship things out. But yeah, we'll figure something out. It'll be really cool. I'm excited about them. But yeah, let's do what we're here to do. I sent you the draft.
I have it loaded up. Oh, and the draft. I have those too.
So let's open up the draft. Game number 1 between Return of the Middlesticks LAS and Campbellsville University, which is always a mouthful. You can see their logo's just like a coked out tiger. This is round 2 against them. They have a new top lane, a new jungle, and a new AD carry, but I believe their mid and support are the same. They've gone through some changes, apparently. The coke got to him, I guess.
What in particular about the tiger do you think makes it look coked out?
So its face, like its eyes are like kind of weird, but like more importantly, the jaw just doesn't make any sense to exist.
Okay.
And it just looks kind of, yeah, it doesn't
Coked
look
out.
natural. Yeah, it looks coked out. Yeah.
Okay, understandable.
So take a quick look over the draft. I hate Campbellsville comp, and ROTM got Thresh and Vladimir. I think it's a Nexter.
Why do you hate Campbellsville comp?
So the only champion that does damage in this team composition is Varus, and Varus doesn't do damage.
So Varus, you would think that they would pair it with, maybe like a Jinx or something. Something a bit more hyper carry focused.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that if this team comp gets a lead, it's impossible for them to lose. Just because of how easy their composition is to execute. Seraphine is super OP. Olaf is really strong early. Nautilus has the engage, or we haven't seen as much of recently, but he's there and still pretty strong. I'm not crazy about the Varus pick, but in general, I don't hate the composition. It's just if you fall behind, you definitely lack damage.
Yeah, I think that it's pretty impossible to play as the Varus. Like, I don't know. The only way you do damage in this comp as Varus, or any champion, is you have to go like attack speed build, which puts you into range of everything for ROTM, and you just die, I think, a lot.
Potentially. Definitely potentially. Though ROTM's comp, I feel like it's kind of hard when you have a champion like Vladimir, but you don't have like a designated tank. Like Volibear's kind of a fake tank in that he doesn't get super tanky. He just has, a lot of health, but not necessarily a lot of resistances. And a champion like Varus should be able to tear him apart once you hit mid game. So I think that there's a potential where if you fall behind on RotM, they don't have the fallback of, super easy engage or, a whole lot of front line. So I think there's the potential there. If they do fall behind at all, or if Campbellsville gets ahead at all, it feels like it'd be pretty doomed for RTM.
Well, let's see how it all plays out, I guess. Yeah. If you're ready, we'll go ahead and start it up.
I am ready.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. I'll even let you introduce the blue team.
On the blue side, we have our boys return to the middle six, with Peak Lane in the top lane on the Vladimir Gid Shadeslayer on the Volibear in the jungle, Oath playing Ahri in the mid lane, and then B-Pots and Matsuro 5 on the Tristana Thresh bottom lane.
And on the other side of the rift, wearing the red health bars, the evil enemies. In the top lane, they're Campbellsville University. Campbellsville? I don't know why that's kind of difficult to string together. Campbellsville University. Light Durgan. Durgan?
It's a dragon, yeah?
It probably is, but there's no vowels. Light Durgan number 20 in the top lane playing Ornn. Zeppelin Lover number 95 in the jungle playing Olaf, Small Goddess Kiara in the jungle, or in the mid lane playing Seraphine, and Ashton Arg and the Beastar in the bottom lane playing Varus and Nautilus.
So do you think Olaf is just a fan of, flying vehicles, or is he a music enjoyer? Which do you think is more likely?
I think music enjoyer. I'd also hazard a guess that he was born in the year 1995.
So he's old as shit, is what I'm hearing.
Please don't say that. All right.
Okay, so both junglers start on the bottom side of the map here. So they're going to be pathing towards the top lane, which I think is an interesting decision, just because it seems like in an Ornn Vladimir matchup, which is sort of the lane that you're pathing towards, nothing's ever going to happen in that lane. So it just seems kind of interesting that both junglers are deciding if that's the lane that they need to play towards. I feel like playing towards bottom, especially for Campbellsville. It feels like that's their win condition, is getting Varus ahead. So, I'd like to see Olaf try and put some pressure down there because, again, with their team composition, a lack of potential damage, I think that they do need to establish some amount of a lead in the early game. But already, Matsuro just...
Matsuro going for the flay at level 2, hits, or the flay at level 1, hits level 2, and then hooks the minion directly, just showing it who's boss. And Peak Lane just going to chunk Light Dragon out.
Yeah, I take it back. If Ornn sits there and just lets Vladimir trade autos with him at level 1, then yeah, I suppose he can deal damage.
Oh, just a little to the left there on the hook for Matsuro. He's going for it. He's feeling it.
Oh, do you see this invade already from Gid? He did his 3 camps, and then he's going into the enemy golems. Olaf is finishing up his red and running top, so this is kind of interesting. They might end up crossing paths from an interesting
some weird
direction.
jungle path. All right, so Gid went red, blue, Gromp, enemy Krugs. Oh, the flash ignite from Oath. The Spirit Fire, not quite enough damage. Will the ignite tick down? It is. It's first blood for Oath. He saw, he had the blood in his eyes and he went for it.
Yeah, a little slick there with the
not the
flash
phrase.
charm.
What phrase? He had the bloodlust in his eyes, maybe, is more normal. That wasn't a great smite. There are things happening. Hook in the bottom line. Beastar's low. The explosive shot gets the reset, I think, for B-Pots, but not going to jump in. It's a decent trade for ROTM, but I actually think that it was a little bit better for Campbellsville.
Yeah, looking at the HP bars, it's definitely favoring the red side bottom lane here. but Olaf is on the side of the map and is applying some pressure. It looks like RTM's bot lane's gonna have to back up, and Hyder actually got caught.
Yeah, Matsuro forced to flash over the thick part of the wall, the piercing arrow. Just mildly annoying as it glances B-Pots, but now without the flash on Thresh, he'll be a little bit less deadly in this bottom lane.
So
as weird as Gid's jungle path was, Zeppelin Lover went blue wolves, Raptors red, top crab, bottom crab, bot gank. Flash forward from Light Dragon, and the pool from Peakley that's actually going to be enough to keep him alive. All right.
Kind of surprising. It looks a little bit scary, especially after, you know, how the early trades were going. A nice little dodge there by Kiara. But touching on the jungle pathing, Olaf is really strong right now just because he clears faster than just about everyone in the game not named Udyr. And it feels like Zeppelin Lover isn't really taking advantage of that fact when Peakley was trying to be a little cheeky. By skipping your AoE camps that are the Rays and the Golems, the one that give, you know, quite a bit of XP, you're sort of not taking advantage of your clear speed. And even now is only Volibear, and Volibear's already gotten his recall off. This is actually just not at all playing towards the Olaf win condition. This is definitely not taking advantage of the early game power.
Yeah, able to recall him by a pickaxe though and head toward those AoE camps. Gid's jungle path, if you were tracking that, again, was red, blue, Gromp, enemy Krugs, top crab, and then his own Krugs and Raptors, and then a recall.
So he reset first, then he did Krugs, Raptors. I think he just reset again. Am I crazy? I think he's reset twice.
I don't think so. He didn't have any items prior to this reset, and now he's got a Bomby Cinder.
Then what was he doing for the entire...
He went toward bottom crab, saw that it was missing, and then went into his jungle. He cleared a ward.
So in the time that Olaf did top crab, ganked bottom, did crab, did the Gromp,
Gid
and
stole
wolves.
the top crab.
Yeah, but then what did he do for the next 2 minutes?
I don't know, man. Peakley is...
Oh, Peakley's...
Oh, the pillar. He's got flash still. Oh, he's actually got that.
Wow.
The empowered transfusion from Peakley, and Oath is going to find Kiara in the jungle, pick her off as well. Zeppelin Lover looking for a little bit of revenge for his top laner as he walks in. I don't know that he can take this fight against both of them, though. Gid walks forward with the Rolling Thunder, gets the stun, and everybody's going to walk out.
It feels like it's really close. Olaf is just so strong early. I think as soon as the Volibear shield drops, it's something that he can look for.
He can definitely do this. Like, this I have no problem with. I just feel like the extra damage from Peakley might have been too much, but not fancying his chances on the invade. Worried about Peakley showing up, and Ashton Arc really low. The Ignite would have ticked him down, but the auto attack from B-Pots is going to make sure that it's confirmed. He hops over the Lantern, as you do sometimes, but a duo lane kill for B-Pots and Matsuro in the bottom lane.
And as we've seen time and time again, that's Matsuro on this Thresh is just so good, able to find these picks in lane, able to just land every single hook. The first couple were blocked by the minions, but no minions around this time. He was able to weave it onto Ashton Arg, and Ashton's gonna end up falling, and that's a kill for B-Pots in this lane, which is very good considering he was down, 10 CS already. So, the kill sort of evens that up, gives them a little bit of a lead, and they're looking for a roam here.
Yeah, looking for the roam
just kind of hovering it.
To mid lane. The word from B-Pots in the little... I feel like there should be a cute name for that bush. That's a good word by Kiara. They just didn't pull the trigger on the charm or the hook quick enough to catch her.
The angle that Seraphine took was a little too shallow, so they didn't see her come up, but it felt like they were really slow to react to that. It's like they were surprised that the word came down, but they really want to contest this blue buff. There's going to be a big fight around this, as pretty much everyone that isn't the top laners up there, they're actually fighting.
Yeah, they're calling in the Ornhorn in top lane, but more importantly bottom. Oh, the hook out of the rocket jump. B-Star hits level 6 and they blow up B-Pots. But Oath is here to exchange that kill. B-Star trying to kite back away. Small guard is Kiara buying a bit of time. The Encore is good to at least delay everything, but Oath is still alive. He's got the Spirit Rush available. It's a double kill for Gid as he's healing back up off of the chomps. It's a quadra kill for Gid Shadeslayer.
Wow, and the fight didn't look that great to start out with. B-Star was able to get a really great Nautilus hook onto B-Pots and sort of single him out and kill him before the fight even really started, but really well played by the threesome there of ROTM, Oath diving in, diving out of the fight, able to just kite it out enough, get down the damage, and Gid being the consistent damage there, picking up the kills. Now 4-0-1, has the finished Chem Tank uh, run fast at you item as well as the boots, is very accelerated at this point. And in a matchup like Volibear Olaf, which is sort of scary just because of how strong Olaf is early. After this start, it's no longer that way. Gid is very strong, doesn't have to worry about anyone.
I caught that accelerated pun. I just wanted to let you know that I appreciated it. But yeah, 8-1 for ROTM. They have a 3,000 gold lead. They have the first dragon of the game as well. And now do you feel like it's on them to make a mistake at this point in order to let CU back in the game? Or is their teamfight comp just actually strong enough if they scale up?
So with Campbellsville, they always have the Seraphine power. Seraphine is sort of a champion that even when you're behind, Matsuro's looking for it.
Gid,
and Gid's here. He's so
in with
fast.
the Chem Tank. They're onto Ashton Arc. The slow, the buster shot just to knock him back into the bush. They don't have any vision in that bush, so it's a little bit difficult to auto-attack him, but it'll all work out in the end. A double kill for B-Pots and a really good, well-timed gank by Gid.
Yeah, already taking advantage of that power spike, just coming in so fast with that item and able to pick up another kill there. Oh, and Oath is
going in with
looking
the
for
Spirit
Kiara.
Rush. Just not quite able to find home on the charm. That's still quite a chunk of damage onto him. Layer in a couple of autos along with it, and Kiara will have to base. Does have teleport back, so not the most costly thing in the world. And I do like this from Zeppelin Lover. He's going to go ahead and grab the Rift Herald in the meantime.
Yeah, but it's a good choice. You saw the jungler on the other side of the map, so you take advantage of something on your side, and it looks like he's also going for the Gromp there. Might get found out by P-Clay, but I don't think P-Clay can do much to the Olaf. But as far as Campbellsville, they do have the Seraphine. Seraphine team fights so well that even when behind, you sort of have the option of just deathballing as a 5-man in the mid game. Ooh, Zeppelin should be able to just walk this out.
Yeah, Charm doesn't land, so he doesn't even have to invest the Ragnarok, and Zeppelin Lover will be fine.
But again, they have the option of just trying to deathball in the mid game and trying to snowball a lead off of that, and that's sort of their only win condition. I expect to see that around the next dragon. But our team's doing a good job of accelerating the game and sort of taking advantage of the lead that they've gotten. And Matsuro, even if he's not able to get anything off of this roam, still roamed up, still looking for it. But he might get caught on a ward on the way back down.
Yeah,
we'll see if Campbell's
just pulling out of the Searing Charge from Light Dragon. Actually just gonna get a much better exchange, all things considered for him. Oath walks forward. Oh, just not quite able to find home on these charms.
He's fishing for it, basically off cooldown. And he's applying a lot of pressure to Kiara, has that CS lead to show for it.
In comes Gid. He's so fast. And the Bellows Breath, just not quite enough to nullify anything. Gid jumps forward, turns off the turret. Omewrecker's a cool item, by the way. That's a lot of CC, though. Gid is going to fall to the turret. That's a huge shutdown to Small Goddess Kiara. Meanwhile, Zeppelin Lover looking for it in bottom lane. Hook lands onto Matsuro. They should be able to finish him off in short order. Oh, he's got the flash over the wall, so he actually sacrifices his 80 carry to the Wolves as B-Pots falls. But a good counter blow from CU, and they're able to find 2 kills.
Definitely. Off the back of a great teleport there by Kiara, and even with the turret turned off, just had so much CC that he kept Gid under long enough to be able to pick up that kill. And then Zeppelin's just doing such a good job. Oh no!
Onto B-Star Oath, trying to get some damage down. They need to focus on the Nautilus and finish him off, but he's actually equalized. Zeppelin Lover doing a lot of damage, and P-Clay walks in, sitting on cooldowns right now, eventually able to finish it off, but Hyder falls to a piercing arrow. Now the 1v1 between Vladimir and Varus. The Tides of Blood not there to connect, but in comes Gid. He's on the slow field right now, just trying to catch up. Ashton had the flash away. Slow gonna land from the Tides of Blood in the transfusion, and Gid will bop him down. Actually, P-Clay takes the kill. He's on a rampage now. Light Dragon gonna take a couple of turret plates in the top lane in exchange, but definitely not worth for him as ROTM wins the fight in bottom lane.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I really liked Zeppelin's approach to this, where every single time that there's a play being made on the other side of the map by ROTM, he's looking for what is available for him, what he can do to get his team ahead. And it was a really good gank in the bottom lane. They got the kill onto B-Pods as well as the flash out of Thresh, but unfortunately they end up sticking around a little bit too long. They get teleported on, and a great roam from Oath means it all turns around, as Oath probably doesn't have the damage to actually kill this Ornn, but again, it's the right idea from Campbellsville. It's just not quite working out for them.
Want your opinions on a couple of things. Number one, Immortal Shield Bow is going to be the finish on Thresh, as he's just sidesteps that hook, maybe inadvertently. They're going in on the Gid, but he's got the Lantern back out, and that should be RTM able to disengage. Oop. Pull out of the depth charge, but instead that's going to allow him to use it on a different target. Knock up onto Gid. Hook going to land on Peakley, and he will be the sacrificial. Oh no, he's got the speed boost. He's got the heal. Oh, not quite enough, as he is tagged by the piercing arrow from Ashton Arg. Hook in onto B-Star. He's stuck underneath the turret. The explosive shot does a lot of damage, but that's a huge Seraphine snare. A double kill for Ashton Arg, as they're getting a little bit better of their trade here in bottom lane. Again, what are your thoughts on the shield bow as well as Seraphine not going for a
Moonstone?
Moonstone.
Yeah, well, I primarily off the back of this fight,
Oh no.
I like that Campbellsville was looking for it. They were looking for that mid-game power spike. They were taking
There's no way
advantage
he lives.
of it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he never put it out. But they were able to pick up some kills, and two of them going on to Ashen is exactly what you want to see. That said, Ashen with the shield bow, it feels like as your primary damage tool for your team, a Kraken Slayer would have been better, and sort of rely on Seraphine to keep you alive. But shield bow just a little bit worried about the kill pressure from the Vladimir, I suppose.
I feel like you go best of both worlds and you get a Zephyr.
A Zephyr?
The Gale
item.
Force, the other, yeah, the windy item, the other windy item.
Potentially. I feel like there isn't a whole lot of synergy in his kit with Gale Force. Oh, his Peakley is looking for it, but not willing
the
to
charm
drop the
gonna land on the Kiara, the Ignite ticking down, and the Tides of Blood for the kill. That was a weird little fight that results in another kill for Peakley. He's 5-1 on the Vladimir. Light Dragon needs to negotiate that turret a little bit better in top lane.
It's such a random fight where it basically started with Peakley walking up slowly at them, holding down his E, and was able to just get so much damage off it. I don't know, it just seems kind of strange. It didn't seem like anyone was on the same page there in terms of what they wanted to do. But Seraphine's itemization, I think, makes a lot of sense. Look, going for the Ludens, just because your team does lack some amount of damage, that I don't think going for a Moonstone necessarily covers that for it. I think that you do need some real damage in there. And with this, Seraphine becomes a legitimate carry, a legitimate damage threat to deal with for ROTM.
Yep, top lane turret going to fall to Peakley and get started up on Sheila. This looks like it's going to be contested by Campbellsville. They're in for it. It's actually stolen by Varus. The jump out from Gid, not really in time. The bonk over the wall, just going to hit B-Pots and be mildly annoying. So that's actually a pretty nice win for Campbellsville, and Zeppelin Lover going to drop that Rift Herald immediately in mid lane, and they should be able to get this tower. Ooh, this is actually going to be rough. The collapse coming in from ROTM. Sheila doesn't quite chunk through it. In comes Peakley. He hits a huge Hemo Plague. Hook not quite going to land from Matsuro, but he gets the flay onto B-Star. Oath dashing forward, looking for the kill, but Ashtarg is able to stay relatively safe thanks to that shield bow. It's a double kill for Gid as they do finish off those other two kills. They're losing the top lane tower in exchange, though.
It just makes no sense for Campbellsville. Their power is in a 5-man team fight. They are able to pick up the Rift Herald, and they decide to drop it mid, but Seraphine and Ornn, their strongest team fighters, aren't with the team. So when they commit to it and just get 5-man engaged on, there's just no chance of them being able to do anything. Just a complete total lack of coordination and playing towards their win condition for Campbellsville. And now they were looking at, there's an opportunity there for them to get back in the game and play around their power spike, but now they're looking at a 4K deficit or 3.5K. But again, we've highlighted this multiple times. The lack of damage makes a 3.5K gold deficit just that much worse and that much harder to overcome. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that they just have to look for a fight around this dragon and pray that Seraphine being, an OP champion is enough to carry them through it.
Yeah, they do kind of off the back of that fight are somehow able to find the mid tower. Couple of things to note: the Oblivion Orb picked up by Oath feels like a pretty natural thing to pick up against a Varus with a lot of lifesteal and a Seraphine. So good to see that in inventory. Piclay has the Magi's Soul Stealer and has no stacks on it currently.
That just means it's primed and ready.
Oh, that's not. It's a Blighting Jewel.
Yeah, no, that's
That
the.
looks like Magi's. Yeah, my bad.
That's great.
Light Dragon is just standing in that bush. Why is he there? All right.
Well, I suppose that makes this team fight win condition kind of out the window for them. So, if you are Campbellsville, your next best bet is to try and look for a 5-man, maybe around Baron. Maybe RotM will start it up, and you can engage on them while they're low. Or the other option would be to try and play for a pick with Varus ult, with Nautilus ult, with Seraphine ult. They have tools, but they have to look for something, because the longer this game goes on, the lack of damage just makes it really difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Gid runs really fast, but still doesn't have tier 2 boots, so that's kind of interesting.
You don't need them when you have Dead Man's. That man's sprinting out there. He don't need no tier 2 boots.
In fact, not sprinting it down this game. 6-1 and 5. He's had a pretty monster performance, set up really nicely by that quadra kill early on.
Definitely. This RTM coming in off of reset. It looks like they're going to try and set up around this Baron. That is the next objective. They'll probably want to push out their waves to look to set up some vision around there and, maybe look for a pick or two. As Piclay and Ornn are fighting here. One thing about this Ornn is that there are no grievous wounds in his inventory. Usually in this matchup, Bramble Vest doesn't do a whole lot because Vladimir can just not auto-attack you. But the tech that we've seen quite a bit is actually going for the Executioner's Calling because it does apply on your Q.
Yeah, I think there's bigger issues than just that. Encore over the wall that caught Oath. A lot of shields coming through. He's actually still alive. Eventually does fall to the Seraphine over the wall. Gid just jumps in. He's on top of Ashton Arc. There is nowhere for this Varus to go as he's eliminated from the map. The Goomba Stomp from B-Pots forward. Not quite able to find Small Goddess Kiara as she does retreat. I was going to point out the bigger issue for Light Dragon, who also died in a solo kill in bottom lane, is that he was against... there's Volibear Vladimir Ari is the top half of the map, and he built no magic resist. It was all armor.
Well, to be fair, Sunfire does have some magic resist in it. But yeah, I might have liked to see him spec a little bit more into it aggressively early game. But that looked like a good pick for Campbellsville. They used their ultimates, they got the pick, but unfortunately, Kiara didn't have a finished item, just now finishing up the Leandries after, I suppose, the pit stop on Blasting Wand to bait us into thinking she was going Ludens. They didn't have the damage to actually kill Oath right away, means that they have to overcommit there to finally get the one kill, and means they're just a little bit too long, and our team's able to turn it around. Now 6-3-2 on B-Pots on this Tristana, very close to finishing up the Stormrazers, just very strong right now. Oh my god.
Oath just turns around and hits the charm. Hyder follows up with the hook, but yeah, showing off their skill shot prowess, I guess.
Definitely. It just seems like Oath has been so deadly with these charms. Every time we look... Oh no.
Alright.
You don't like to see it, especially with Baron up. RotM just now has teleport advantage. They can pressure this Baron so well, and Light Dragon has no option to be able to join his team.
I don't think RotM saw it. Is maybe the bright side.
I think that they would have seen it on the wave, because the wave was a turret. I feel like...
Did they seeing it and taking note of it are two different things?
Oh, well, I mean, you can't account for that, though. Oh,
Somehow Kiara's caught. Meanwhile, Light Dragon's in trouble underneath his tower. Another solo kill for Peakley. He's just asserting his will on this Vladimir. Oath over the wall. Oh, dashes out of the hook. Misses the charm, unfortunately, but a nice little juke from him. Unfortunately, now going to eat the full brunt of the combo from B-Star. But here comes the squad ready to save Private Oath. Olaf tried his best, but he found nothing. B-Star is going to fall at the end of that. 3 kills for ROTM. It's the Bud Light ace. Yeah, that was
and,
a little desperation of a fight, and didn't work out super well.
and our team's just too far ahead at this point off of those early skirmishes going so far in their favor, that early quadra kill from Volibear. Now they just have a lead in every single roll. They're getting the picks, and now they're able to pick up that inhibitor as well. Pressure onto the Baron is next. We'll see if they decide to reset first, or if they just walk straight to it. They're strong enough that they probably could just run straight to it and try and make Campbellsville fight them for it. Campbellsville is having a little bit of trouble getting out of their base. They're spending some time in the shop fraternizing with Boris to see what's for sale, but unfortunately that means that the Baron's going to go away of ROTM. Campbellsville isn't in position to contest this at all. They might be able to pick up the dragon as a consolation prize, but it's pretty meager compared to the pushing power that ROTM's going to get from this.
Yeah, LS lore question, are both shopkeepers cores? Are they the same
I think
person?
they are. I think they are. If you look at the, if you zoom in on the shopkeepers, both of them look exactly the same. You know, this isn't like Howling Abyss, which has, you know, 2 distinct shopkeepers. I believe that both of these are in fact Borith.
If I remember correctly, there's like different arms and armor around them.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they both have the same.
I kind of want to check. There's maybe important.
Oh, you're right. I am entirely incorrect. They are very different. Maybe they both they're underlings of Boris. They sell for, you know, for Boris.
So it's like a. I don't know how many Animal Crossing players we have. It's like Timmy and Tommy Nook, and then Tom Nook is the.
Absolutely,
the
the
evil
Godfather.
capitalist raccoon overlord.
Yeah, exactly.
He's kind of raccoon-like.
They're subsidiaries
Yeah.
of Boris.
Yeah, so both shops are just a subsidiary of Boris Incorporated.
I think that sounds about right.
Buy stock in Boris. There's no other option. It's a monopoly.
Boris is just the marketing firm. Oh wow,
Peakley is
that's so much damage.
Trying to kill Zeppelin Lover. There's no,
There's no trying about it. He's just murdering him underneath that turret. Poor Olaf doesn't even have his finished second item yet, but Peakley's well on his way to the death cap, has the fully stacked Dark Seal. And our team's just getting everything they want. Campbellsville's trying to pull
coming
the
in,
trigger.
hits Snare. Oath is in a lot of trouble. He's charmed up. Oh, but the shield and the heal coming through. Matsuro saving his life. Oath is actually going to live on the backside. Meanwhile, Git dives into the Nexus turret. Actually doesn't turn them off, or already did, and it's already gone. But B-Star in trouble as well. It's another Bud Light ace for Return of the Middle Sticks as Gid, the only casualty of the situation. 32 to 10 going to be the final kill count. Maybe 33 if they can hook Olaf out of the fountain. But
and once again, we just see the power of this composition from Campbellsville. When they're lining up the ultimates, it looks so close, but they're just too far behind. They don't have the damage to actually end up killing anybody. Our team just snowballed too well off of that early game, and, you know, well played by them. They didn't let the foot off the gas for a second, just taking over everything.
All right. Well, we're going to take just a short break. We'll be back with game number 2. We'll see if ROTM, they won a game 1, guys. They did it.
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle.
That's what happens when you get Thresh. You know, it's impossible to lose with Thresh.
But we'll see if they can close out the series 2-0, or if Campbellsville University will strike back. The coked out Tigers might have their day. But yeah, we'll be back in just a couple minutes. I know I can always count on you for my LS lore.
I mean, I miffed it there, but you know, we recovered. Uh,
Oh no, this is the wrong one. I have identical scenes for Legends and for Upsurge
okay.
because they have different requirements. So I loaded up everything. I had the Upsurge one ready to go, but
Oof. Unlucky. I assume that they both require like their league logos to be on there.
So funnily enough, they don't, but you know.
Oh really?
Upsurge requires that you have they have 2 of their logos you have to have on the stream. The UML one as well as the regular Upsurge logo, which I just stuck in the top right corner for no reason.
Okay.
But Legends has no requirement for anything, so I'm doing them a favor by putting their league logo on there.
Look at you.
They also don't have a media kit available, so I had to beg the admins for all of the team logos that they were sent.
Okay. You know, growing pains.
Yeah.
Perhaps, you know, maybe they'll be able to.
I mean, they still had them all available and could give them to me, which is better than some of the other leagues we've competed in, but where I've just had to like look on Twitter for people, basically.
Which, to shill, if you aren't following the Middlesticks Twitter account, Meristematic is just popping off on there. Not on the daily, but quite a bit, so you should probably go follow that. Sorry, I'm in a shill mood today.
Yeah, apparently. I'm normally the one that has to shill, and other people just sit there awkwardly, but...
Well, see, you do it so often, I felt like I had to, you know...
Oh, jeez. Just put that pressure right on me. I could run an ad break right now. I could really chill.
Oh, shit. That's the 5-head.
The funny thing is, I think we have... It says we have like 7 or 8 viewers right now. I think all of them are probably subs, so it just wouldn't do anything.
Well, you know,
also, thank you, Matsuro, for gifting the sub, by the way. We're at 18 sub points. I think 25 is the next breakpoint for a new emote, so if we can somehow dredge up 7 more people, I don't know where we would find them, but yeah.
So, didn't you used to be able to pull out just the chat list and see everybody that was in chat?
You definitely used to be able to, and now you can as a mod. I'm pretty sure there's a mod chat, but there's nowhere else to.
Weird. It's a interesting change.
Oh, it also reset the gift sub counter. I need to change that at some point. I don't want that resetting. Yeah, anyway, I have the thing loaded up for game 2 if you want to look at it.
The draft?
Yeah.
I have that available.
Alright.
So, off the top.
Alright.
Time and time again, we have had teams give Matsuro 5 Thresh in game 1, get pummeled by it, and then immediately ban it game 2. But this time around, not the case. Campbellsville deciding that Thresh wasn't the issue. It in fact was Volibear and Vladimir. You know, you see the Volibear ban and then the first pick Vladimir, which feels kind of strange. You know, that combined with like a Mordekaiser ban. I don't know who's playing Mordekaiser. Is that a Peakley champion?
It's a Peakley. Yeah, he's played it.
I'd rather him be on Mordekaiser than Vladimir, right?
Probably. I would say so. But they took the Vladimir away, so.
Yeah, they're team fighting. So if you just cover up that bottom pick, those 4 picks, you know, Galio, Vladimir, MF, and Jarvan, I'm seeing crazy team fighting. I love this team comp. You know, they have very specific go buttons. You know, they can just stack their ultimates. I love it. But then you ruin it by locking in a champion like Nasus. What does the Nasus do in this team comp?
So
am disappointed.
I like that Peakley was like, give me the reverse of that matchup. I'll take Ornn into matchup. I'm gonna show him how to play that matchup, and then CU just is like, nah, that's a Vladimir mid. We're gonna take Nasts.
So what they need to do is they need to throw Yasuo top into the Vladimir, because I think that's an okay matchup. And then you still put the Ornn against the Vladimir, you know, to just to flex on him, I think would be the play.
Yeah.
Also, interestingly enough, Elise, the decision for Gid, not a champion I've seen him play before. You know, it's sort of very different. We're used to seeing the Warwick, the Vi, you know, Volibear, you know, even Nunu, I think would be, you know, a little bit more expected. But, you know, Elise is a pretty strong champion in the early game right now. And with Olaf off the table, or, you know, because that's sort of the champion that runs over Elise. I think I like the pick. It's a little bit aggressive. I like the look. You know, it's exciting to see what Gid will be able to do with it.
Yeah, interesting. Udyr just falls through pick and ban phase. By the way,
Go players don't play Udyr. Come on.
I guess so. But yeah, the Elise gives them a little bit of magic damage to go with their composition, which is full AD other than that. So, you know, helping out. Let's see how the game goes.
All right.
All right. I need to hit this, and then I need to hit this. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. On the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars for game number 2 are going to be the Campbellsville. Oh God. The CU Tigers. In the top lane, Light Dragon 20 on Nasus. Zeppelin Lover number 95 in the jungle playing Jarvan, Small Goddess Kiara in mid playing Vladimir, and Ashton Arg and the B-Star playing MF and Galio.
And the C in CU stands for a coked out, right?
Coked out.
It's on the red side with.
Oh, B-Star's in trouble
RotM.
though. He's
Oh
fine.
no.
That was a quick flash though. Good for him.
Oh, you are so far ahead of me. What?
What? I'll just pause. Holy, 50? 50 seconds.
Ooh, 48, 49.
I said 3.
50.
Oh, I must not have backed up. I must have been at like 2
Yeah.
seconds. Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, you were like 5 seconds ahead. Oof.
My bad.
That's okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
go.
I kept going.
Oh no. All right, where are you at?
What's your timer?
54, and I'm paused. I'll go 55 and pause.
Alright, I'm paused at 55.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
The high level production value here.
Yeah. They're on a ward on this invade, so it's probably not going to work out.
Yeah, you know, they were just being a little bit cheeky checking for something. They were able to get the Galio flash, which is pretty significant, especially against the lane like the Thresh and Caitlyn. You know, Beepots and Metsuro had so much pressure in the bottom lane last game that being able to blow Galio's flash this early just makes it that much scarier for the Campbellsville bot lane. Especially when you're playing melee like Galio into double range. It's kind of scary. It can be a little bit difficult to deal with. Oh, like Spiderling's tank.
Yeah, I was gonna point out that he just wasn't. He wouldn't have
also
van
use
mode
his
the blue buff.
W as an auto attack reset. That's okay. We have to keep an eye on the path there. Really interestingly, Zeppelin Lover on the Jarvan. Jarvan known for starting red buff and level 2 ganking somewhere. That is the Jarvan playbook. This time around, because of the invade, decided to go start his own blue. Doing the Gromp and then even doing the Wolves as well means, you know, he's not looking for the super aggressive path that we come to expect from Jarvan. And it's sort of necessary from Jarvan because Jarvan doesn't clear that well. His main power is that he's a tank champion that's very strong early.
Oh,
what
gonna
a
land onto Ashton. Flash over the
Oh
trap
my
as well.
God.
But the counter taunt from B-Star gets a lot of damage exchanged down onto B-Pot, so that was actually pretty well played by Campbellsville though.
But what a flay out of Metsuro, flaying Galio out of the Justice Punch there. Kind of surprising that the trade went so poorly for them in terms of the health or the health bar
Matsuro's
for
still looking
B-pots.
for it. The wraparound from Gid as they're looking for it. Flay in onto Ashton. Where's the hook? The hook from Matsuro. Gonna grab in B-Star. They try to change onto the Galio. 200 health. The Piltover Peacemaker. First blood, but exchanged by the turret.
Repel! Oh no! Oh, that... Oh no,
Zeppelin
and
Lover's
Jarvan's
here.
here!
Here he comes. He's got the standard. Hits the slow with the golden Aegis into the EQ. Only going to knock up Matsuro. That was a well-timed flay, but just not quite well enough because he was already in melee range.
Yeah, about as well as it could have been, but it was such an interesting path from Gid. You know, did his 3 blue side camps and then went bot to try and take advantage of the flashless Galio. But on the dive, just misplayed it a little bit. Didn't use the repel to drop the
Ooh, the flash away from Oath has the wind wall just for a little bit of safety. Has the ignite to try to change down, but the barrier from Smoke Goddess Kiara is enough to win the fight. The 1v1.
Mid lane Vladimir took barrier?
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
I wasn't either until the shield
next
popped
level.
up. So.
Holy shit. Wait, Gid is here. He hasn't cleared a single camp since he died. He's smack dab in between.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Misses the cocoon. Smoke Goddess Kiara into the pool, gets flayed out. Gid with the execute though does eventually find the kill.
Oh my god.
And then steal some of his farm just for his trouble. Oh, no.
And if we were looking at more LS lore, Gid is sinning out of his mind right now, not farming anything. He's gonna lose his red buff. Really smart play from Zeppelin, seeing that and going in, noticing that Elise never did her red buff, and just sneaking in there to do it. Up 3 camps. This is going to be camp number 4 on Gid. And Gid on the Elise. Elise doesn't clear very fast either, especially these AoE camps. You don't have Runic Epicos anymore to sort of facilitate your farming in the mid game, so falling behind can be really scary.
How is B-Pot so far? B-Pot's got first blood, and then nothing happened to him, and now he's 2 levels behind the MF?
If we rewinded, my bet would be that they left their wave in a really bad spot, slow pushing, and they ended up losing multiple waves.
Oh, Peak Light going in. They find Zeppelin Lover trying to get aggressive on the Krugs. One more auto. He's actually got the flash out. So Zeppelin Lover is going to live up there in the top lane. They're still chasing him? Yeah, the Wither from Nasus is a good spell.
And Zeppelin Lover, that means that he got away with taking Gid's entire top side, you know, other than the Rays. They're trading so aggressively mid.
Yeah, Kiara hits level 6. The Hemo Plague is going to be enough to find another solo kill. Gid just invades and kills Zeppelin Lover. Now has to get away from Light Dragon. No Wither on him. Oh, now he repelled back to...
Oh, no! Oh, my God.
He got the Gromp. He gets the stun on the Light Dragon. Kiara's there, but so is Peakley potentially. Peakley's level 5.
Oh my god.
I don't know what's happening. I feel like I say that most of the gold games, but more so now.
This is the spicy gameplay. Gid got
he knew he'd get the heal off of the Gromp, right? That's the big play.
I guess. I mean, that was just... I feel like it might have been better to just, after you get the kill, instantly repel to the Scryer's Bloom on the other side so you don't lose that much HP. But this way, he went back in, finished up the Gromp, so he got the XP for it. Oh my god, Vladimir, quit using your W like that. It's just, every time you press W as Vladimir, you lose like 15% of your health bar. And it's a long cooldown that's stopping Yasuo from all-inning you.
Oh, the hook from Matsuro not going to land. I bet if Ashton actually walked forward and tanked that, they could have got the kills, but not thinking that. No reason to. Oh, Small Goddess Kiara finished. I was going to point out that both of the mid laners could only buy 1 item, because Vladimir only had Amp Tomes, and Oath only has daggers, basically. It was going to be a funny joke, but it got ruined immediately by buying the Hextech Alternator.
Oh, Peakley has lethal here. He has the ultimate. Nasus isn't 6 yet. I think with the double brittle procs, he probably had lethal, but...
Yeah, it would have been hard to stay in range thanks to the Wither. I don't...
It's Flash, and the ult. I feel like he kills him.
Yeah, he's got a huge CS lead. Worth noting. Light Dragon not farming super well. Actually clearing the minion waves with the Spirit Fire. Ooh,
Oh, he
canceled the
canceled
auto.
it.
Canceled it again.
Oh!
Didn't hit the ramp. Oh no,
Oh
Peakley!
no! He canceled the auto 3 times, flashed out of the Ord Horn, wasn't able to get the recast off, and Nasus doesn't even have to commit his own ultimate. Still has his flash available. It's tragedy for Peakley. But that said, Nasus fucked his own wave. Now it's slow pushing away from him.
Well, Matsuro's
Oh!
not quite able to find the hook onto Ashton, and now Beastar is here to try to get the taunt. He took a long time to wind up that taunt. Ashton took a huge amount of his health bar. The damage is enough to take down Matsuro. Now B-Pot's in trouble. Teleport coming in. Peakley to the rescue, potentially. The Piltover Peacemaker sails just a little bit wide. Here's Gid for the execute. He's in. The bullet time was actually channeled there for a second. That'll go on cooldown. It's a shutdown for Zeppelin Lover, though. Taunt lands into the Jarvan Jacuzzi. It's a double kill for Zeppelin Lover, but Peakley wins the fight ultimately.
What a fight there. I like that Gid went in, flashed and repelled to get the last hit onto Ashton, who is sticking around in the fight just trying to get a max range bullet time off, but wasn't quite able to get any extra damage. After all of this, CU is up 7 to 5 kills, but unfortunately because of some CS leads in favor of RotM, it only equates to a 200, just barely 300 gold lead for them.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's an accurate summation of events. Dragon's been up for a little bit. Neither team has had the chutzpah to go for that just yet. Matsuro roam mid, looking for something there on Kiara, but not going to be able to find anything initially. And yeah,
So I'm really surprised at Oath. Playing the Yasuo. This is a champion that notoriously is really vulnerable early. Wants to be playing up, and this whole game Oath has been playing up extremely far. And it feels like with everything else that's going on everywhere, Zeppelin Lover hasn't had a chance to really go in and punish Oath for it, which is sort of, the normal play against Yasuo. And now Oath has been able to complete his Berserker's Greaves, complete the Noon Quiver, is well on his way to be, to hitting those power spikes that we that we know a strong Yasuo to reach. Is Gid.
so
Gid is just he's a humanitarian, or a spiderling-tarian. He doesn't want his spiders to die. Is willing to tank it for his spiderlings, for his children. You got to respect that.
I'm honestly just confused about how they were able to take that for
I
Galio was just in base for some reason. Don't know why. And Zeppelin Lover was not on that half of the map. Was clearing his topside camps. And RTM, I don't know that they did any setup for it. They just kind of went to Dragon and were able
Oath
to do
is
it for
so
free.
far up. This is scary.
Yeah, Oath trying to turn this 1v2, gets knocked up by the Flag and Dragon, will be taken down. That pink ward, unfortunately, not quite worth his life.
You can't do that without any backup. Your support isn't near you. Your jungler's off the map. It's just really scary, and ends up getting punished for it. And Jarvan looking bot.
Trying to get to the lantern. The Flag and Drag, the lantern not quite
Oh!
enough. The flash forward for the Jacuzzi is enough. In comes the Galio ult just for a little bit of good measure, but Jarvan dies to the turret. They're gonna be able to finish off Matsuro. Nice autos from Ashton to Arg, and they'll get the 2-for-1 in the bottom lane.
Wow, what a great taunt by Beastar to keep B-Pots in and taking the MF ultimate, but B-Pots with the Thresh Lantern was able to get out and almost barely get away, but the flash ult from Zeppelin Lover is going to be able to track him down. And so this time we're looking at the scoreboard 10-6, so it's a few more kills in favor of CU, but now that gold lead has grown, from just the 200 now over 1,000, 1.5k. And looking at the team compositions, Peakley, I think he could have traded ults and made Nasus recall there. That's okay, he's just playing a little bit slower. I feel like the team composition from CU lends itself to scaling. I feel like their team fighting in their mid to late game is just so strong that, having a lead this early is just so good for
Zeppelin
them.
trying to do the Rift Herald, trying to chase him off. He's surrounded by 5 members, not able to get the Flag and Drag over the wall and taken down by Gid. They'll grab the Rift Herald as well.
And they just keep giving Matsuro this Thresh. What a great roam off of reset. A lot of really good supports to look for every time they're in base. Instead of running straight back bot, they look somewhere open. Mancero's been so good about that, looking for these plays. This time around, able to catch Zeppelin out on that Rift Herald. And once Thresh is on top of you as Jarvan, you can never actually use the flag and drag because you're going to instantly get flayed out of it. Really well played there by RTM.
Yeah, stack check. Nasus is at 159 right now, so not great, but not like unwinnable, I guess. Knockup from the Ornhorn, just gonna buy some distance for this turret. Peakley really committing for it, but he'll be able to get out of there with the Searing Charge. They grab the mid lane turret for their trouble, and ROTM has their first gold lead of the game, I think, at about 1,000.
So 150 stacks at 13 minutes feels low.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the benchmark at 20 minutes is like 400, 450 stacks. I don't know 13 minutes exactly. Maybe he's just going to ramp up and just be, stacking everything.
Yeah,
the
I know
next
you
7 minutes,
start
but
off a little slower. It's like a
for sure, because CDR. Yeah, for sure.
But
at the same time, it just feels like that's really low, especially for essentially what was the last pick here. They knew what the matchup was. I don't know. It just seems kind of strange.
it's a little.
They just really aren't taking advantage of it. Feels like. That's okay though. Looking at the scoreboard, CS lead Peakley up 40 CS in that matchup top lane without a whole lot of jungle intervention. Is just a massive number. Really leaving his mark on this series. In the first game, tons of kills. This time, tons of CS. And he also went for the Bramble Vest, which makes a lot of sense in a Nasus. Nasus has so much innate healing from his passive that I think that's a really good pickup here for these trades. Oh?
Yeah, looking for the pillar. Just gonna get some autos down. Beastar and Zeppelin Lover hiding in the wings. Beepots has the lantern. The taunt coming out. Just not quite able to find the range from Beastar. A little bit of damage from the Winds of War. Oh, hooked back in. They're committing for it. The bullet time just ripping through Beepots. He stopped for the Piltover Peacemaker. The flash forward for Matsuro for the auto does find the kill.
And Zeppelin Lover still hanging just around the side.
Here he comes with the EQ. Finally gets in, but here's Gid as well. Looking for the hook, or the cocoon onto Ashton. Finds the kill. Zeppelin Lover trying to kite back out. He uses the Jacuzzi. The flag is actually enough for the double kill for him. Trying to get on to Gid. The two junglers doing battle in the bottom lane. Are they going to commit? Oh. Here comes Peakley looking for the Ornhorn. Gets the knockup out of the flag and Dragon. Oath is there for the last breath. Small Goddess Kiara goes in looking for the trade. The Hemoplague will find it, but it's a double kill for Oath at the end.
And that fight bottom looks so funny. If this were Valorant, you would say the Zeppelin's just baiting the fuck out of his team there, waiting for his team to die before he goes in and cleans it up. It's just... I don't know. I can't believe he stayed in the alcove the entire time and then just didn't cast Cataclysm. Either way, a good teleport there and roam down by Oath and Peakley at the end to secure that and the dragon for ROTM.
Yeah, they're just using Beastar as their entry fragger, you know.
Yeah, no, but they're just watching him, And then they're gonna spam ping him, and after he picks up the double kill, he feels like he was the gamer, he was the Jet that 1v9'd, but really just, I don't know, that felt like it wasn't the best use of their teammates there.
Alright, so Masters Legend of Runeterra now. Are we hitting Masters in Valorant next? Is that the next game?
Well, I hit Diamond in Valorant, so maybe I can just go back in and hit Immortal real quick. That's sort of the one-to-one. I'll be Masters in every Riot game that isn't League of Legends. That's the 5-head play.
I think you could do League. League is just going to be the biggest time investment, probably.
I think League would be the hardest. I think TFT wouldn't be that difficult. And then Valorant would just require a lot of time, I think.
And then you've got to hit it in, it's Mechs and Minions. Hit Masters in that.
I've beaten Mechs and Minions. Does that count? Is that a...
Is that Master's rank? I don't know.
Uh,
I need the official Mechs and Minions leaderboard. Hook gonna land onto B-Stars. They're gonna pull him in. Oath is here on the gank. The Justice Punch not gonna get B-Star anywhere, and Oath's on a killing spree. Even looking for more. Goes forward, hits the knock up onto Ashton Arg, and the ace in the hole from B-Pots will find that kill. Really nicely played by Oath, but maybe taking a bad path in as Zeppelin Lover and Small Goddess Kiara on the roam. The 2v3 for CU as they're looking for it. Kiara is in, hits the Hemoplague onto 2, gets the health back, but Gid is wrapping around from the side. Matsuro takes the kill onto Kiara, and Zeppelin Lover forced to flee to the wrong side of the map. Oh,
I like
no, it's going to get
little
cut off by
cocoon
P-Play.
there.
Oh,
Oh!
Horn over the wall, gets the knock up. Oath walking in, will be able to eventually track him down. That's a really good cocoon from Gid. He earned that kill with that cocoon, I think.
Yeah, able to catch him. Went long there on the route. Was able to eventually run down the Jarvan. Is he actually spamming
He's spam-pinging his
teleport? Oh no. Are we sure this isn't a solo queue game?
Yikes.
Ooh.
Bullet time
Bullet
just to clear the
time.
minion wave. The lantern out, though, will get B-Pots out to safety. Yeah, I mean, probably fair to spam ping the Nasus, but, you know, stacks.
Yeah, I feel like there are... I don't know, I'm notorious for hating Nasus. I think that the people who try and stack and play for late game on him are just playing the champion all wrong. They don't understand his power. His power's in the mid game. His stacks don't matter. Because in late game against Thresh, you're never stacking anybody other than a turret. Ooh.
Yeah, B-Star and Ashton able to take down the bottom lane tower. The flash forward for Ashton, not quite able to find that damage.
Ooh.
Hook lands the flay into the tower range. It's going to be able to trade back at least. B-Pots now has been able to bait B-Star in. Oath looking for the knock-up. Ooh, just steps in front of the Justice Punch, and Oath on the rampage. That was a really good, like, last-second hook. The desperation hook for Matsuro pulls him into tower range.
Yeah, it gave his life. I feel like it was close. He might have been able to just walk it out, but instead turning around, getting the hook, let him know, even if I go down, Ashton, you're going down with me. Really good hook there. And ROTM down, you know, almost 2k just a few minutes ago. Now, after all of these plays, every single skirmish just going their way. They seem to always have more people there. Everything's just going in their favor. Now looking at 3.3k gold lead. And with the team composition that has Caitlyn and Elise, I think that this lead is very necessary. You know, not the strongest team fighting champions, not the best scaling champions. So I like that they've established that here. Oh, what a play
from Matsuro. It's going to cost him his life, unfortunately, but able to keep B-Pots safe through all of that. Ashton picks up another kill. I wanted to loop back around to your Nasus point because I really hate Nasus. That champion is not fun to play against and always loses because it's a dumb champion. Anyway, Gid caught just a little bit here. Zeppelin Lover takes a lot of damage. B-Pot's just exchanging everything across the gap. Gets the knock-up with the ultimate bullet time over the wall. Doing quite a bit of work, but the wind wall from Oath is very good. He's still continuing the chase in, looking for the 1v2. The ace in the hole over the wall will kill off B-Star. The ignite will finish off Zeppelin Lover, and... you know, Nasus backwards is Susan, and Susan is a bitch. There's the teleport that comes in from Susan. In fact, as the dragon started up, Gid is here, though. Should be able to smite that one down. There it goes. P-Clay in. Big double knock-up off of the pillar. Oath hits the last breath right onto Ashton Arg. Just finishes him off. Small Goddess Kiara looking for the counter kill onto Gid, but trapped kind of in no man's land. Gid finishes off that kill. Light Dragon teleported into a fight and then immediately leaves it. Exit stage left.
It feels like that contest there is just a tilt play from Campbellsville. Nothing's going their way, so they end up teleporting in to try and 3v4, but, you know, with how far behind they are, it goes understandably very poorly for them.
What? Sorry. The upgraded Immortal Shield Bow? It's called Bloodward?
Blood Ward? Like a ward?
Yeah, hover over.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Squidward, but...
I think it's more like, you know, you're warding off death.
I mean, that's an interpretation.
True. Yours is just as valid as mine, to be honest. It probably is a A shout out to our aquatic homie, Squidward.
It's either that or they were like, we want to call it Bloodborne, but not, you know. Like, that's a really cool video game. It's Bloodborne.
Potentially, I mean that's certainly
Zeppelin Lover
possible.
is here, not able to find an EQ. And the Picklers just awkwardly walk away from each other. Alright.
Yeah, that was interesting. Our team, though, gets their resets. They get to spend their money. Now looking at a 6.5k. Did I do my math right? 5.5k? They have a lot of money. 6.5.
I'm Bloodward. He's Bloodward. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on that. Anyway.
No, it's fine. So when somebody's a ward of the state, do you think that's also a reference to SpongeBob?
Yeah, for sure. Everything is just a reference to SpongeBob, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. I think you're right, honestly. It's just...
Alright, RTM has Baron up. They're pushing some lanes in. Light Dragon is also pushing a lane in, so he's doing his job up there in the top lane. Shout out to him. Picking Nasus, making the most of that counter pick right now.
He still hasn't taken the turret. The man has left his lane exactly one time, and he still hasn't taken the turret. It's just not really paying dividends, especially because, like we highlighted in draft, the rest of his team, the theme is wanting to team fight, wanting to group, wanting to get the wombo. Oh my god, Peakley still being able to get the better of this matchup that he wanted. Oh, Light Dragon. It's kind of shitting on Oath there.
Yeah, I mean, Nasus just has a Sheen item, so he's the strongest 1v1 champion in the entire game, but, you know.
Oh, no.
Kiara's in trouble. Auto attack. Oh, he's got the barrier tech.
Barrier.
The pillar,
Oh,
not quite
no.
enough. Oath is just dancing around this minion wave, gets the knock up into the last breath. He just takes him down. That was a huge amount of burst damage. Peakley with the solo kill on the other half of the map. The ones part of the 1-3-1 going very well for Return of the Middle Sticks. This cannon just needs focus, dude. Just hit the tower.
But Galio's bigger, man. Galio's scarier.
That's true.
He's trying to protect his homies. But now back on track. He's autoing. Oh no. See, the moment he autoed the turret, Misfortune just walked up and killed him. He was there trying to protect his homies, but the homies didn't protect him.
I'm still hung up on Bloodward. Like,
Yeah.
Immortal Shield, though, that's a pretty badass name, right? Like, it's a shield and a bow. It makes you, like, I get it. What's better than that? Bloodward, right?
I think Bloodward is a pretty fucking... I think that's pretty metal. I don't know.
Alright, well, another upgrade onto Bepont's the Wormfallen Sacrifice. I knew that one without looking at it. That's a... Also doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It goes from a Kraken Slayer to now you're sacrificing yourself to a dragon. I don't really know.
Do you think that's what it is? Do you think that Caitlyn becomes the sacrifice?
Hook, flay in from Matsuro. They find Zeppelin Lover. Flashes away. The Galio goes in with his ultimate looking for it. The knockup, though, lands as Oath gets in. He's legendary. Flashes forward looking for Ashton Arg. Yasuo just trying to style on some kids as he dashes back in and out of the minion wave. The hook, or the... I always call it a hook for some reason. The cocoon lands onto the Nasus. He has contributed to the game with his 2 deaths. And ROTM running over the rest of the game. What did Matsuro get?
Reliquary of the Golden Dawn.
Yeah, that one's okay. I don't have anything to say about it.
It's a mouthful, but I suppose so is Locket of the Iron Solari, right? So it's a...
I mean, that just feels like a straight up, like, it's the same thing, it's just an upgrade. The other one's, like, completely changed the flavor of it.
Do you think so?
I...
Oh, no.
Do you think that... Alright, Oath is stuck in this 1v2, trying to scrap his way out. The Immortal Shield Bow pops, and that's enough. Excuse me, the Bloodward pops, but it's not quite enough to help him turn all the way around, but he does get a kill in that 1v2. Ocean Soul goes over to ROTM.
I feel like Bloodward is pretty on Oh, they're gonna be
Oh
able to
no.
kill Jarvan here. I feel like it's pretty on theme. Oh, Zeppelin Lover actually.
Oh no! The frog.
Oh, oh no!
They eventually get the play onto him. He uses the Jarvan
Oh.
Jacuzzi just to try to get some distance.
Oh,
He'll
he
back
makes
up.
it out.
They're trapped into the Jacuzzi though. A huge Ornn ultimate onto 2. They just don't have the follow-up. They really need Oath right now. I think they're missing the Yasuo just a little bit in their team comp, but they'll continue pushing in this bottom. They can't push in this bottom. They actually cut the minion wave. It's back at their turret right now. They have no minion wave set up at all.
Their macro kind of went out the window in the last few minutes, but you know they are playing C champion, kill champion. That time around, not quite able to take down Zeppelin Lover. Steric's shield is just so massive. I'm seeing 2 fights in a row. It's just so big, and now he's going for the Gargoyle's Stone Plate as well, which is just gonna give him another absolutely massive shield. So Jarvan can be tanky. The issue is I don't know if there's a whole lot backing him up at this point. I'm not sure that Campbellsville has had the opportunity to group a single time yet, so
Yeah,
we'll see
sweeping in
if
toward the
maybe
blue
before
buff.
the end of the
Beastar
game.
gets hit by the cocoon, trying to disengage. Zeppelin Lover hanging out around the side as the Baron just started up right in the face of Campbellsville. It's too many syllables. Campbellsville.
Campbellsville?
Yeah. Jarvan's in. He gets the steal on the Baron. The Tigers trying to find a fight that they need. A lot of shields coming through. Oath is still alive. Gets rooted up just briefly, still trying to auto-attack his way out. ROTM has turned the fight. The shields and heals from Matsuro 5, keeping everybody alive. Small Goddess Kiara trying to retreat. I think Beepots has ace in the hole, and that'll be not enough. Surprising. Ashton and Kiara going to be the 2 remaining members of CU as their base gets pushed in.
Yeah, our team should be able to just secure this one here off of a little bit of a rocky early game, but they were able to sort of stall it out, and pick up a few kills in the game, and then just everything went their way. Now just looking to secure this one as people are spawning though. Campbellsville might be able to contest this, look for something.
Yeah.
Troy Belleville? I think you should either have a Bell or a Ville. You can't have both. That feels unfair.
It's just a city in Kentucky. You'll have to take it up with them.
Well,
The
yeah,
teleport
I
from Light Dragon. He's gonna get a tower, or is he?
Oh no.
Matsuro's on the
Matsuro.
case. Oh, Peakley gonna get interrupted out of his recall. The 3v4 on the bottom half of the map as they're breaking out. The Jarvan Jacuzzi helping out quite a bit. Oath is here with the knock-up. Peakley not quite able to do a huge amount of damage. They lose Oath in the process, but the auto attacks from Beepots. They do lose that tower in the top range. Matsuro just being annoying to the Nasus now. The Night Harvester upgrade's called Vespertide, by the way.
Which sounds cool. I don't know what a Vesper is, but
Vesper's
it sounds
like
cool.
black, like dark.
Okay, so Night Harvester, Vesper, Tide.
Yeah, like
Okay, I
turning
mean,
things
that's-
dark. Yeah, like it's on brand. It's
Okay, I
much
mean,
more on brand than Wormfallen Sacrifice.
I think Wormfallen Sacrifice isn't that far off.
It's a Kraken slave. Like, a Kraken is a thing, right? It's a specific thing. And a worm is a different thing. This is not an argument
true.
to have. It's 2-0 for Return of the Middle Sticks as they finish off the series over Campbellsville University. It's too many like syllables, but just not quite. I don't know. The
Again,
Tigers
I think either a Bell or a Ville.
Yeah.
It's just one or the other.
Tigers
They had a
didn't
little
quite
bit
have
too
it
much.
what it takes for this. RTM improves to 5-1 on the season. CU falls to 0-6. Yeah, big matchup next week for the LAS boys. They're going to take on PvE Esports and what should be the number 1 and number 2 teams in the division. So that'll be exciting to see. Oh, 6-1. I missed a week. 6-1 for ROTM.
Yeah, they've had a really good season so far, and being able to come back next week and do it all over again. Just really solid games today. I'd say very very commanding leads in both of them, it felt like.
Yeah, didn't feel particularly threatened in either of them. So, congratulations to the boys again. Another 2-0 week for them. We'll go ahead and take just a short break, and then we're going to have the LRS games as they take on Ascension Obsidian, which is also kind of difficult to say back to back. So, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. It'll probably take me a little longer because I haven't actually set the raffles to Aikido yet, and I'll have to set everything up. So, we'll be back in just a minute.
So you have plenty of time, if you're not following it, to go check the Return of the Middlesticks Twitter, where funny memes, just recently on the 25th, funny crow meme. If you want to go check that out.
That's what we're all here for. Funny crow memes.
Isn't it? If that's not the case, then I might need to leave. I assume that's why we're all here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in our chat. I need this one. Okay.
So what's really interesting, is that the seasonal has the top 32 today, and NA's like just started. But what's really interesting is the people who qualified for the top 32. Basically, you had to go 5-0 in Swiss in order to qualify, and if there weren't enough people, then someone who went 4-1 but was the highest ranked on the ladder would be like the next in, right? Like off the waiting list. So and then you're seeded. All of the 5-0 people are seeded based off of their ladder rank. So number 1 seed was Kevor, who was like rank 2 on the ladder, and he went 5-0, so he's number 1 seed. And of course, he then plays against the number 32 seed, who's the first person off the waiting list, who is the rank 1 guy in North America, who just went 4-1. It's just really interesting that being the second seed, ostensibly you would face somebody with a much lower ladder ranking by doing just slightly worse. I always thought that was interesting how that happened.
Yeah, that's weird that so that means that only one 4-1 person qualified?
That's correct. Yeah. I think that means that there was just a 5-0 person who dropped out, because I'm pretty sure that there would have been exactly 32 people who would have gone 5-0. So, just a certain number of dropouts, I suppose, leads to a 1-4-1 person getting in.
That's such a small margin for error.
Yeah, I mean, when you're cutting down your pool from, I think it was like 1,500 people to 32, over 5 games. That's next season they're doing it differently. Instead of doing 5 games, I believe they're doing 9 games. And you auto qualify by going 7-2. I think is what it is, or like 8-1 auto qualifies, and then 7-2 gives you the chance to qualify based on your ladder rank as like a tiebreaker. So that'll be interesting next seasonal. Just trying to make it a little bit more forgiving, even though mathematically I'm pretty sure it's just as hard. It just feels better to not lose one series and instantly be out.
They changed their color.
Obsidian?
Yeah. Why are they Obsidian now? The logo they submitted says Ruby.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know where to get their logo. I've never had any contact with this group. Yeah, the logo that I have definitely says Ruby. I think I'm just gonna have to go for it. They're gonna have to be Ruby.
Maybe it's not a color. Maybe it's a name.
Oh, it says Dar though, rather than. If I search Divine Ascension, it's a spell in World of Warcraft. Classic. All right.
Divine Ascension Esports.
It's also a brand.
Oh yeah.
Divine Ascension Gaming is looking for a plat jungler. Hashtag Divine Ascension Gaming on Instagram.
Oh shit. Yo, that's me. I'm plat as fuck. I'll be your man on the inside, figure out the whole naming scheme thing.
I mean, the naming scheme seems kind of obvious, yeah. Like, they're just named after rocks, right?
Ostensibly. I mean, I don't know. Like, Ruby's like a person's name too, so they might be named after someone. That's what I was getting at.
They also haven't done their Twitter graphics for the week, which is kind of weird. I feel like they're behind on that.
Should let them know. But their Twitter followers look forward to those every week.
Yeah, they have an Obsidian logo. Huh. I mean, it's the same stylized. It just says DAO and then says Obsidian in the D. But I don't know how I would be able to get this logo in any reasonable amount of time, so I think they're just going to have to be Ruby. Or am I in the wrong folder and I'm just trolling? Because that's also a possibility. This one definitely says LRS on it. Yeah. I have a Sapphire. And that's it.
Sapphire could also be a name.
Could it?
Absolutely. I bet that there are absolutely people out there named Sapphire.
Have you met someone named Sapphire?
You know, I haven't personally.
Okay.
But, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that that there isn't one, right?
I mean, I guess not. I mean, there's a lot of weird people's names out there.
You feel like that's a weird name? Sapphire?
I
I feel like that's not like that crazy of a name.
I don't want to give my thoughts on it in case there's somebody actually named Sapphire out there. But...
Well, there are absolutely people named Sapphire out there, without a doubt.
Do you think that they're all porn stars?
I would say that would probably be statistically unlikely. That they're all exact porn stars. I bet that, you know, there's probably a fair number that aren't. Do you feel similarly about like a name like Ruby? Do you feel like Ruby's?
No. So Ruby's that Chieftain song, right? So that one's okay.
I'm not familiar.
They just sing Ruby. Ruby. Yeah.
That was beautiful. I've not heard that before.
My boss has it on his playlist, so we get to hear it every once in a while in the lab. That's about all I've got from it. Really.
Okay. I mean that's pretty good. I got a pretty good idea of it from that.
In other news, I can't find this logo, so we're just gonna have to go with Ruby, I guess.
Okay.
We're just gonna pretend it says Obsidian.
Take it in a paint real quick, scribble it out.
Let me search for Obsidian really quick. Obsidian. I can't spell Obsidian. Is that how you spell Obsidian?
Obsidian.
I-A-N. Okay. Yeah, so if you search Divine Ascension Obsidian... Oh, there's a Smite link. Oh, their Smite team was called that, apparently, not too long ago.
Huh?
But yeah, there's no logo if you just do a Google search for it, so that's unfortunate. Oh, there's a... Oh. Oh, that's weird. Okay, I don't want to be there. Light League show matches? Degenerates Reformed versus Divine Ascension Obsidian discussion post. And there's no replies in there. Alright. Well, I've given up on that. Alright, they're just...
Not a very useful discussion post then, Sage.
Yeah. They're just gonna be Ruby this week. Alright, and then one last thing to change. Change this to say DAO. Should I have their color continue to be red? Be a good meme. I don't think it. All right. You want to talk about a draft then? I think I have everything set up. Yeah, this looks
Sure.
okay. Draft for game number 1. This is the LRS week 7. Damn, week 7. Between Return of the Middle Sticks and Divine Ascension Obsidian. Ignore the R and the ruby on the side, I guess. Imagine that says Obsidian and is in like white. Okay. What sticks out about the draft for you?
Udyr!
Udyr! Yeah.
We see Udyr finally. Very strong champion. Probably highest priority jungler in the game. Clear super fast. Dow got him. You know, got him. So probably pretty happy to have that champion. Other than that, Nunu is an okay matchup into Udyr, I suppose. Not the worst in the world. Other than that, I mean, it seems pretty standard. Like nothing too crazy here. A lot of team fighting from Dow. DAO. I've decided to call him Dow.
Pretty sure their team was originally Ruby, and then they swapped out their entire roster, so they changed their name because they swapped their roster. Okay, well, good for them.
That's a stupid reason, I think, to change your name.
Wow, you're just gonna call them out like that?
No, I'm just saying their reason is, it's just a little.
All right, let's do the game.
You didn't have any thoughts on the draft?
Not really. Looks like they both
Good
teams
analysis.
got some champions. Yeah.
You're fucking killing it today, Maris. Good job.
Thanks, bud. I'm counting on you. All right, let's 3, 2, 1, go. All right, on the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars for game number 1 is going to be Divine Ascension Obsidian in the top lane, Coltonson. On the Scion, Saturation the third in the jungle on Udyr. Void in the mid lane playing Cassiopeia, and Baby Claps and DIVINEXZ in the bottom lane playing Misfortune and Leona.
On the red side, we have Return of the Middle Six Cardinals 29, top lane on the Aatrox. Hulk in the jungle position on the Nunu. Wing Nation playing his patented Echo mid, and then Karasuda and Points in the bot lane on the Ashe and Thresh. Pretty strong lane there. Saturation the third, do you think that's his third account? He is a jungler, so he's probably been banned before for being toxic. That's
if Oath's still here, you should probably take a page out of that. It should have gone Neo the second, Neo the third. That would have been much better. My big question.
Funny.
Do you think that he wants his name to be Divine, or just XZ,
Absolutely.
or
I think it's
why do you
actually...
think he has the XZ? Like, why wouldn't he just be Divine as one word? Like,
well, so what I think it is, I think he wants you to ask why, because the Y is missing, be XYZ. I think you're missing the Y, and he wants you to ask why. I think it's several levels up there. It's working on multiple levels here.
It's just like an elevator.
I like Baby Claps though, because Caps is Baby Faker, and he wants to be Claps, so he's Baby Claps. I think that there's multiple levels there, and I like that one too. That's a good name.
He's playing AD, so.
Well,
I guess he did
went
play
from
AD.
mid to AD. So
yeah, no, Caps did play AD for a split. It didn't go very well, but he did it. I mean, they still won the championship, but it didn't go very well.
Oh my god.
That's a good chunk. The X
There's
is...
a lot of damage there.
So it's just Divine Z. Alright. Points and Karasuda gonna hit level 2 and walk aggressively at Baby Claps and Divine. And... holding the hook. They get the slow from the volley, and just gonna crash it into turret. This
might be a fan of plants. Maybe it's more like Vine, die Vine. XZ. Like
Divinic said.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at the jungle. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this is a big shove from Karasuda in points. They have to be careful because of the jungle path from Saturation in the third. Because
Saturation's on the side of the map, but Udyr doesn't put a point into bear stance until level 4, so he kind of wants to finish up all 6 of his camps before he looks for a gank. A little slow on his clear, actually. You know, Udyr should be able to clear all 6 camps by, you know, around 310 and then be walking into river, so it's a little bit slow on that. But interestingly enough, do you see Hulk and Wing Nation here opting to go for that bottom side crab?
Hook gonna land onto baby clamps. A lot of damage coming through the Ranger's focus, not quite enough. Points walks into tower range though and gets stunned up. It's first blood for the Misfortune. A bunch of flashes forward. Zenith Blade lands onto Karasuda as he's trying to get away, but he'll be stunned up and taken down. Saturation with the kill. Meanwhile, Cardinals and Coltonson just exchanging pleasantries in the top lane. That's a good trade for Cardinals. Although Hulk and Wing Nation get the stun, they'll get the kill onto Void, so they'll trade this back 2-2 as both solar laners finding a kill for ROTM. Coltonson not going to be able to do anything with the Zombie Scion.
In that bottom lane fight, looked like it was going so far in ROTM's way, but for some reason, Points wasn't willing to commit the Ignite onto the low HP MF, realized his mistake, tried to get in there and get the cheeky Ignite, but ends up getting stunned up under tower fort and trading back the kill, and it's just disaster down there after what was just such a strong early laning phase for them. You know, they had so much pressure there. It sort of just fell apart as quickly as it came.
Yeah, Wing started Dark Seal already, 2 stacks on that. He'll be feeling pretty good about that.
Pog. Yep.
Pog.
That's it's feeling pretty good. One thing I was gonna mention is I feel like
up from Divine though. Maybe cost him in the
Points
bottom
take
lane as Points looking for the hook. They get the slow down, the Flay not quite gonna connect, and they do get the flash out of Baby Claps in exchange for the roam mid for Divine.
Yeah, really heads up play there from Points, able to identify that Leona wasn't in lane, MF was all alone, and able to burn her flash for it. But one thing I wanted to point out is when in these games, so often it feels like when something happens somewhere on the map, instantly there are fights everywhere on the map. You know, people are constantly making plays at the same time on multiple parts of the map, which is just so different from a lot of higher level play where, you know, if you're making a play bottom lane, you don't want to make a play top because you're going to be outnumbered, right? I just think it's interesting how often it happens across a lot of the games that we cast. You know, just aggressive players, and oftentimes it's not really born to fruition. It's not like, oh, well, you know, the play on the other side of the map is always going to go poorly. Oftentimes it goes fine.
Yeah, in comes Saturation looking for the gank in bottom lane. The flashless bottom lane for ROTM. Teleport in from Cardinals isn't going to be able to save points. They're looking for this greatest snowball ever as Cardinals comes in. He's got the World Ender ticking. Big knockups as Baby Claps falls. ROTM turning this one back around, but a big knockup from Coltonson off of his teleport, but they finish off Saturation. Divine trying to kite back to the tower, gets pulled back in by the Infernal Chains as Cardinals dashes forward. He's looking really good on the Aatrox, able to flash out of danger. Oh no, he tanked an extra tower shot and actually falls. It's a double kill for Wing Nation though, and Coltonson won't be able to track anything else down with the Furnace passive? Is something.
Anyway, that fight there in the bottom lane just went so well for ROTM because Cardinals was able to teleport in and he already had level 6. Coltonson ended up teleporting in at the exact same time, but look up at that wave that he's missing up there. It's all the XP that he's behind on the Aatrox. Baby Clap's
just walking in. Karasuda not respecting that he could be back, and with the strep passive, trying to get that movement speed back. A couple more autos will do it, and Baby Claps finds the solo kill in the bottom lane.
Well played, just overstaying a little bit too long there from Karasuda. No one stuck around to help him shove the wave in, make sure it crashed, so he ends up dying. Because Misfortune just gets back to lane so quickly with that strut passive. And you can't be too greedy with your recalls against her.
Yeah, so Wing Nation going to be the big recipient of the damage early game. Saturation looking for Cardinals in the top lane. They use the unstoppable onslaught into Cardinals. He's trying to dance around, but not going to be able to find anything as Saturation knocks him down.
And Udyr just is so fast. He ran straight into lane there. Didn't even try to go around behind him. Just ran straight at him. Was able to run him down. You know, the champion is very fun, fair, and balanced. But the big thing is that Cardinals is missing all this XP, already a level behind, and it's not going to be equalized. You know, he's just losing so much there. It's a really great gank timing there from Saturation. It just means that Cardinals is a little bit too far up into that wave. He could just let it push into him. That said, this trap here.
Oh, the flash forward onto Karasuda. They'll stun him up again. The lantern out to safety. Is the ignite enough to finish him off? Not quite, and Karasuda will live. The flash on cooldown, basically, from Divine as they're looking for that engage, and they almost get their man.
I really like the look there. They're able to hide in that bush, bait Karasuda into walking up too far. Oh,
ult burned onto Wing Nation, gets the slow up. Have to be careful about where that Chrono Break's going to go, but Saturation just going to swing by, say hello, take out a ward.
Yeah, Void was expecting a little bit more committal there from Wing Nation. Used the Petrifying Gaze, but fortunately for him, Wing Nation was able to dodge out on it and not get stunned up. That said, Saturation helped him shove in the wave and lets him get a recall here, so he's feeling pretty okay, has that CS lead. Though a lot of that is because he never showed up to that bottom side fight, you know, didn't end up following. Wing Nation was there first, so, you know, it's sort of have to have a CS lead to justify that.
Yeah, another good trade there from Cardinals. He's looking pretty comfortable on the Aatrox, which is good to see. I actually usually like the Scion into Aatrox matchup for the Scion. Saturation just running down Wing, gets the Bear Slap in, looking for the shield, trying to dive out. The dot isn't quite enough to finish him off from the Tiger stance, and Wing will successfully survive. Another run by a Homeless Man gank.
Yeah, I didn't even have to commit the ultimate there. But that said, he does have to recall, and this is going to be the first dragon going over the side of Divine Ascension, which is really good. Whenever you're running the Udyr compositions with how strong he is early, you should be the team that's picking up the early dragons.
Snowball coming in from Hulk as they're looking for it, and it forced the Scion ultimate out. It's a nice little grab for pretty much nothing out of that.
Man, no, it's a good call there. They notice that dragon was being taken. They immediately look on the other side of the map to see what they can take. So, able to get the ultimate out. You know, it's not the best in the world, but better than nothing.
Solar Flare gonna land onto Karasuda. The lantern right on top of him, trying to keep him safe. The hook just not quite able to land, and Karasuda forced to invest the flash. Meanwhile, the gank in top lane for Saturation as he's trying to get on top of Cardinals. He needs a little dash away, gets it, but the Bear Slap to follow. The Decimating Smash over the top is enough to finish him off. Saturation 3-1 and 2 on the Udyr.
So strong now, but this bottom side fight felt like that should have gotten so much worse for ROTM. It felt like Baby Claps just wasn't willing to just drop the ultimate on top of Karasuda. Means that Karasuda doesn't lose that much for it, you know, loses the HP but doesn't have to recall, isn't getting pressured off of this wave, and, you know, he loses his flash, which, you know, is
his and
not fun,
flash even.
Yeah, not ideal for them, but overall, you know, the CS deficit here isn't because of that play, so it feels like it was, I don't know, not quite as good for Divine Ascension as it could have been.
Yeah. I would really like to see Wing get out of this mid lane now, try to help out his struggling bottom lane, or, you know, even get a roam up to top lane to help Cardinals out. I feel like that's the next play for RTM that we need to see, especially since there's 3 minutes to go on any neutral objective.
Yeah, Winged is so strong on this Echo right now. Has the Hextech Alternator? Yeah. So it has quite a bit of burst damage if he ends up showing up anywhere, especially bottom lane. So if he's able to take his lead, you know, take that around to help out the rest of his homies, then that could be really a way for our team to sort of blow this game open. Because right now,
Snowball coming in mid lane from Hulk. Oh, he's actually just zipping out through the top side of the jungle to the top crab. Not interested in helping out the homies, just gonna go farm up a crab.
Exactly.
Points is roamed again toward mid lane, and that's going to make sure that Karasuda continues to get bullied in underneath this turret.
That said, Karasuda isn't actually getting pressured off of CS. You know, Baby Claps and Divine aren't freezing the wave or walking up and like beating him up while he's trying to last hit it. They're just sort of letting him free farm, so he's not losing that much.
Saturation's really worried about Hulk here, just running away from him, taking a little bit worse of a trade in the process, and
which is kind of weird. Nunu doesn't win that in any sense of the word.
Ooh, Cardinals not quite able to find the knockup on that second Darkened Blade. The flash forward from Hulk trying to get that root underneath tower. Absolute zero coming through. The ultimate from Coltonson, not quite enough to finish off anything. And Cardinals finds another kill in the top lane. Good combination between Hulk and Cardinals as Hulk just drops the Rift Arrow right in his face.
And I'm surprised
but
that Coltonson
Divine is in
there.
looking for Karasuda. In comes Saturation. The teleport is not quite going to be in time to save anybody, but Wing Nation diving in, looking for Baby Claps. He's got the ultimate available. Where's he going to go with it? Back into the bullet time as Cardinals joins the fray as well, looking for Baby Claps, but they just can't find the rest of these health bars. Baby Claps is still alive, so Saturation, the Ignite drop down onto Divine, and it's just not enough as Void is here. The teleport in from Coltonson as they're looking to collapse. The Petrifying Gaze doesn't stun up anyone, but it's enough to shut down Wing Nation, and they'll find points as well. Divine Ascension finds the double kill onto Baby Claps.
And our team was the first ones to respond to that play. They expended the double teleport to be able to get down there and try and turn it around, but unfortunately not quite enough damage. Saturation and Baby Claps both were able to just barely limp away with no HP. Buy time for Coltonson to show up as well as Void, and now Divine Ascension is looking pretty good here. They have the kill lead, they have the gold lead off of that. Really good play there, and their bot lane is just so strong right now. Misfortune now 4-1-4, has the finished Gale Force, tier 2 boots, and a pickaxe to back it up. It's just so strong. Compare that to Karasuda's inventory, who still hasn't even finished his mythic yet. It's looks like it's gonna be pretty hard. Oh no, does Saturation give it to Claps, or who gets it?
Who got the red buff? It looks like it's going to be Claps.
Wow.
Imagine giving your ADC a red buff.
BM Misfortune bullying Udyr off of his third red buff. That's mean. That's very mean. That's okay though. They'll be able to pick up the second dragon as well. And everything seems to be going their way after that first play in the bottom lane where Wing Nation was able to pick up such a massive lead, but our team really hasn't been able to take advantage of it. That said, Winged is going to get caught out here.
Oh, just dances back over the wall with the phase dive, still continuing to scrap out as Cardinals and a Hulk join the fray from the sides. They're not going to be able to find a whole lot onto anybody as the snowball just bobs into Saturation. In comes the unstoppable onslaught to mid lane. Coltonson makes his presence known as now the 3v3 has continued into mid. We'll see if we attract even more players.
Yeah, looks like points end up roaming up, so we're leaving the 80 carries in a 1v1 for now until Divine makes it back, but that isn't good for Karasuda. Karasuda's just not going to be allowed to farm freely at any point. That said, Nunu's coming.
Yeah, Nunu's coming. That's a really nice Gale Force. The Enchanted Crystal are just a little wide there from Karasuda. Divine in trouble. He gets hooked in, but the bullet time tearing through. Not quite enough damage, though. Baby Claps trying to get that one out. The heal is enough to keep Karasuda alive, and Saturation won't be able to run through the meat wall that is Thresh in Nunu.
Wow. And Misfortune is just so strong. Divine Ascension was almost able to turn that around if Baby Claps had played his range just a little bit better instead of getting caught up in Nunu's everything light channel bullet time. That could have been a different fight. But good on RotM to be able to shut down the Misfortune, make sure that she isn't able to just run amok here. Left alone, she otherwise would be able to. And our team ends up backing off of the Rift Herald there. Just not sure why. No one in particular showed up to scare him away. Just deciding that they didn't want to.
Yeah, Coltonson left the top wave. I don't know if that was their indication that maybe they'd been spotted out. Kind of weird. They did leave it.
Yeah. Now Saturation's in position. Looks like he's not going to start that up.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. Almost everybody's got their mythics completed up. It looks like Points and Coltonson going to be the last two, just because Points is a little bit starved for money, and Coltonson has opted to get some pieces of a couple different items.
Yep, ended up finishing up the tier 2 boots as well as the Bramble Vest. So just a little bit delayed on finishing his Sunfire, but that said, that finishing up of the turret there, will give him a little bit more money, so he might be able to just walk home and finish that up pretty soon.
Oh, Hulk thought that fight was going to continue. It already charged up the snowball and actually gives away his position inadvertently. I don't know that that'll matter too much, as we've got 205 on the Infernal Dragon and 205 now on the Baron.
And just looking at the inventories, and not even the inventories, the CS lead here in the jungle. Hulk versus Saturation, Nunu versus Udyr. Nunu doesn't clear that fast. Udyr should absolutely be far and away above in CS and level. And is in fact behind in both accounts. You know, it has some camps up, but just not farming super efficiently on this Udyr, which is sort of not taking advantage of a lot of the champion's power. Admittedly, his 3-1 and 3 has had a lot of effect on the map. But even there, less kill participation than Hulk. So, you know, just a little bit disappointing, I think, in terms of what we're expecting out of the power level of this champion.
Yeah, Hulk's had a very good game so far in the Nunu 0-0 and 8. Feels very solid and CS lead for himself. He's going to continue looking for some of these objectives as they do pick up Sheila. And yeah, not a whole lot happening on the map the last couple of minutes, which is kind of understandable given where we're at. But now Hulk looking for the wraparound gank on bottom lane. Coltonson has the ultimate available. If he can get to the river, might be able to sneak out. They need to get ahead of him so that he can't do that. And now they have Absolute Zero channeled, and Coltonson health bar will be absolutely zeroed out as they take him down.
That's funny. Just a little bit too far up there from Coltonson. Means that Nunu's able to somehow sneak around behind him. They have a pink on the in the entrance to their blue side jungle. So it's really strange that Nunu is able to somehow sneak all the way around that vision and still get behind him. But either way, ROTM pick up the kill, and wow, you see how much damage. Look at Kirisuda's health bar. That was just one Q. Just Misfortune, especially when she's ahead, does so much damage.
Yeah, 5
It's
seconds
really
to
hard
go
to
on this
resist.
Infernal Dragon spawn. You can see both teams kind of setting up for it as Saturation, Baby Claps, and Divine going to re-go through. The snowball going to land on the Saturation. The fight started by Hulk points, not quite able to connect on the hook, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands onto the backline. Baby Claps in trouble, flashes over the wall. Hulk burning down to the Ignite. He will eventually get finished off. Hook going to land, but onto Coltonson, and it looks like RTM's on the retreat. Everybody going forward for Divine Ascension. They pick off points as Winged can't really find an entryway into the fight, neither can Karasuda, and the damage just isn't there from ROTM in these team fights.
Yeah, and the fight looked like it was so close, but that's just because Misfortune wasn't DPSing for 80% of the fight. Didn't play her range very well at the beginning, gets caught up in some of the CC, and has to burn Flash before getting a really good bullet time. But honestly, surprised that the fight was that close with how strong Misfortune is. That said, Divine Ascension ends up coming out on top, picking up 2 kills, picking up their 3rd dragon. Now pressuring that soul point, which is the Infernal. Yeah, very good position for Divine Ascension there. In control now. That said, Hulk is looking for a play here mid.
Yeah, Hulk trying to get some snares down onto Void and Saturation. The flash away just isn't enough for Void as he gets taken down by the Absolute Zero. Hulk continuing to wail away with the help of Karasuda, and that's a big shutdown for the Ashe as they take down Saturation.
And Divine Ascension, they just won the team fight. They just got the lead. Why stick around mid and try and pick up that turret? Just go recall. Pick up your items, spend your money, and then wait for the dragon. Now getting caught out here, they're just gonna end up losing Baron. I don't even know if they're going to be able to contest this. Bullet time isn't quite up yet.
Yeah, they're not doing a huge amount of damage. They're spotted out by the Scryer's Bloom. Baby Claps hanging around the side, gonna auto into points. 3,000 health left on the Baron. Solar Flare in comes the unstoppable onslaught. Karasuda caught on the side. The bullet time just rips through the bottom lane of ROTM. Hulk and Wing trying to finish off the Baron. They do eventually. Hulk is caught. Wing not really doing a whole lot. He jumps onto Baby Claps now. Finally, Cardinals on the side onto Void. They will finish off the Cassiopeia. Baby Claps still alive on the backside. The dash in with the phase dive. Baby Claps gets eliminated finally, but Winged will fall. It's an ace for Divine Ascension.
In ROTM, it looks like they just weren't on the same page there, or suppose they were. They just wanted to burn down the Baron, but this early in the game, they don't have enough to really burst it. once the enemy team shows up, once the 3-man shows up, you have to turn. Instead of taking the 3v5, they just sort of sit there and get picked off. Miss Fortune still does tons of damage if you don't pressure her. And she was able to pick up the kills there. That's the ace for Divine Ascension. They finally pick up that mid turret. And just when it looked like ROTM was getting it swung back in their favor, they end up just committing a little bit too hard to the Baron and end up giving over 5 kills for it.
Yeah, Coltonson even going to finish off the bottom lane tower, so all of those outer towers down. Gold is, well, just for all intents and purposes, it's even in the game. Kills just in Dragons, though, very slightly in favor of Divine Ascension, Obsidian, and now 220. We got to watch for that Infernal Soul spawn.
Yeah, Infernal Soul will just be so strong for the side of Divine Ascension if they're able to secure that. You know, especially this Miss Fortune already does so much damage if she positions well. With the Infernal Soul, it's going to be impossible for our team to actually be able to contest them in these team fights. And looking at the gold looks even. The issue is once you start looking at who has the gold, Miss Fortune has just a massive lead over Ashe. But ROTM's gold lead, half of it's on Nunu, which isn't exactly where you want that gold lead. You know, it's not super useful on Nunu. Nunu, you know, can be tanky, can be frontline, but you know, it's not the ideal place for it. The rest of it is on Echo, but I think Wing Nation has had just a lot of trouble in these fights, really getting onto backline and really pressuring the Miss Fortune.
Yeah, I wish we had the LEC graph where they show the relative gold totals just stacked up against each other, because Baby Claps is top there, and then right behind him is Hulk, which is very strange position for the Nunu to be in as the second.
Right, you say right behind, it's still 1,000
well,
gold.
It's 1,000 gold, but like right behind it in second place.
For sure.
Yeah, relatively behind, but is the second richest man in the game.
Yeah, no,
not
that
Jeff
Nunu has
Bezos.
gotten so much gold. Who is number 2? Why don't they get as much shit as Jeff Bezos? That's my question.
Probably because they're Middle Eastern, if I had to guess. I don't know for sure, though. I'll look it up. Pull out the phone.
That said, they're setting up around this dragon. We're going to see a clash very shortly for it. Both teams have to contest this. It's only 17 seconds on the spawn.
Oh.
And our team just gave up total control of the river. They just let them walk in. They're gonna have to work their way back in to try and contest this.
So Musk is the richest person right now. Bezos is second. Bill Gates is third. So they all get an equal amount of shit. As the fight's gonna start out, Absolute Zero doing a good job of zoning for Hulk, but you can see MF is just untouched on the backside until Cardinals flashes on top of him. But it's just not going ROTM's way. It's 1-for-1 so far, but you can see the relative health bars doing pretty well for Divine Ascension as they get onto Hulk. They tear apart Coltonson though. Wing trying his best to get Baby Claps, but you can see the MF is still healthy.
Get the ult bomb.
Yeah, Karasuda just shoots the blast cone for some reason, and he'll dive for a double kill to Baby Claps. Hulk and points the 2 survivors for ROTM, fleeing to the wrong side of the map. Now going to get caught as Hulk trying to turn this back around. He gets the phase rush. Boom, he's out of there, but Saturation is also fast. We'll see if they can actually catch him.
But most importantly, Divine Ascension is going to be able to secure the Infernal Soul here. You know, eventually, I imagine Saturation will be able to chase down Hulk.
The slow, the counter phase rush from Saturation.
Oh my god, how OP.
Oh, points? Points? Oh, no, he's not quite there in time. 400 health is way too much for the Thresh to deal with, and that'll eventually get finished off by Baby Claps. Teleport invested from Coltonson, and Saturation gonna let Hulk walk away with a warning.
But that fight around Dragon, our team had position and ended up giving it up in favor of getting that bot lane turret, and then once they tried to get back in, the fight was just split up. And again, we highlight all of their gold is on Nunu and Echo, so really relying on Echo to be a massive portion of these fights. But unfortunately, Wing Nation ended up dying without even being able to use his ultimate. Means that the fight just does not go our team's way. Now with Infernal Soul down, Baron is spawning soon, so that's probably going to be the next objective. Though at this point, with how strong Divine Ascension is, they could also just set up add a turret and just try and force a fight. Again, gold is technically even, but it sure doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, and especially with the Infernal Soul in their pocket, that accounts for a pretty significant gold advantage in and of itself. Cardinals is trying to push in that top wave. I highlighted on the stream, there's 19 health left on the inner mid turret for Divine Ascension, so that could blow down in not even a stiff breeze, like a small breeze that would blow over. Points could go in and auto attack it without the backdoor protection, and it would die. Something like that.
Without the backdoor protection.
Or
I was gonna say
with the backdoor protection. It's
I'm
two
pretty
autos,
sure.
maybe.
So you do like 33% damage or something with backdoor protection on?
Yeah, it's
and
19
Thresh has
health.
what, like 60 AD?
Yeah, that'd still be enough.
So Thresh has 90 AD, but the issue is that the turret has 68 armor, so it takes 40% reduced damage. So you're doing what, like 35 per auto normally, and then 30% of that.
All right,
you're doing like 11 damage per auto.
Okay, so 2 autos. As points gets caught, trying to clear some vision out. The vision control from DAO is actually fantastic throughout this whole series. We haven't the whole series, this whole game, this one whole series game. They're starting Baron without Thresh on the map. Cardinals is down in the bottom lane, just looking for some more CS, and Hulk can't get into the pit right now. Winged, I think, is the only one who can. Bullet time over the wall. Winged has to phase dive out of that, and he gets shut down by MF over the wall. The smite from Saturation is good, and they'll secure the Baron and an extra kill.
He just got bopped there, trying to peek over the wall and just get enough damage on it to steal it. But unfortunately, Hulk not able to get into pit, and the Wing Nations takes a little bit too much damage, and Divine Ascension has full control now. No longer is the gold lead even close. Now 3k in favor. They're going to be pushing up this mid lane. Pick up that turret. We'll see if they decide to keep going. Looks like they're going to back up. Probably decide to spend a little bit of that money. But everything going their way. So if you are ROTM, win conditions at this point, the team fighting seems really difficult. So win condition number 1, Astral, maybe getting a pick. Win condition number 2, stealing Elder, because Elder is sort of a comeback mechanic against Soul. It is so strong that if you're able to pick it up, even if you don't have any dragons, still very strong and potentially enough to turn a fight around.
Yeah, well, in come Divine Ascension as they're pushing in the mid wave. 4-1 is the setup right now, as Colton Singh going to look at this bottom lane, take a little chunk out of Cardinals. Not taking any damage in return even, as Saturation just trying to run down Karasuda, forces the flash out of him. They'll take the inhibitor turret, they'll take the inhibitor as well in mid lane, and that'll set them up really nicely here. 2 minutes, the flash forward for the Absolute Zero, but Hulk is stunned out of it. Petrifying Gaze onto Cardinals means that he can't do a whole lot in this fight. Wing Nation onto the backline, but he just doesn't have the damage, forced to ult out. Points has the hook, but it's a double kill for Baby Claps, and Winged is going to get 1v1 by the support.
At the end of the fight, it was a good flank there from Wing Nation. He got the teleport in, but ends up walking the long way around the wall to try and get onto Misfortune. When he finally does, Misfortune has the heal, has the flash, and just doesn't take enough damage. And Divine Ascension able to pick up game 1 here.
Yeah, patient game from them. I think the top half of the map kind of weathered this storm, while Baby Claps and Divine got very far ahead in the bottom lane and ran the whole game through that Misfortune.
Yeah, no, once they got the lead, they did a really good job of not letting go at any point. Really well played there. And again, all that off the back of that bottom lane. Even after RTM, had the first teleport play down there. After that, just everything going the way of Divine Ascension.
All right, well, we'll take a short break. DAO going to be on match point. We'll see if they can close out the series against Return to the Middle Sticks, or if the boys will strike back. So we'll be back in just a minute. 099 is the second one.
Yipper.
I know they're probably not all just sitting in a folder like mine are.
I in fact have been culling out the folder, so it no longer is filled with, 100 VODs, 100 random raffle files that I have no use for because they only work on, old patches.
Yeah, I've been deleting mine, but I have the gold games from earlier, so there's just a lot of things in the folder right now.
I deleted those too.
Oh wow, already on top of that.
We'll see if I need them. I have them because you sent them to me.
Yeah. Wait, did
Google doing
FlyQuest
a-
beat TSM? Or did I miss the boys? Do I just need to
Um,
not watch FlyQuest anymore and they'll win every game I don't watch?
Oh, they must have.
Oh, they did?
Oh no,
The boys.
sad.
Johnson and Palafox popping off. Alright.
Oh no.
Somehow this is CLG's fault, according to the post-game thread. Alright.
How OP is Mundo though?
I
Honestly, I
don't think
think
it's
Mundo is
Mundo,
really
it's
strong.
Jose Diodo. The boy.
Jose de Mundo. De
Demundo.
Mundo. Oh.
Oh, that's like a Spanish reference too. It's the world, yeah.
Yeah. It's- Works on multiple levels.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 between Return of the Middlesticks and Divine Ascension Obsidian. In game number 1, we saw the bot lane of DAO get very far ahead and kind of carry through the game. So we'll see what they have in store for game number 2. Let's take a look at this draft. No Udyr.
No Udyr.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our team deciding to ban that out in the first rotation. Probably a good call there. The champion is very strong. I don't think that Saturation had the best showing on it. But still, it's a champion that you probably don't want to be giving over. That said, a lot of team fighting power here. They have the Leona, they have Ashe, Vel'Koz, probably a little bit easier to team fight with than the Echo. But the Elise as well. Again, a champion that is been on the come up the last couple months. I like that. I like that we're pulling it out. It is very aggressive in the early game. Doesn't scale super well. Can't farm super well, but has the opportunity to sort of take the game over.
Yeah, it feels like it's our ROTM tech now. We saw Gid pull it out, now we see Hulk pull it out. You pulling it out for the playoff game probably, so.
Oh, absolutely. I've been putting in so many Elise games.
Yeah.
Absolutely coming out.
You're basically just a spider at this point.
Basically. Interestingly enough, R5 Camille.
Yeah.
That's pretty late in the draft for a champion as strong as Camille.
Yeah, I mean, for DAO they got the Gnar, which is also a relatively good blind pick top laner, so.
For sure. It feels like that's a champion that oftentimes either gets banned or gets picked, in one of the first 3 picks, for either team.
What is this insane points focus, by the way? They're banning him out. The Seraphine, I know is a flex between Winged and points, but then Rel and Galio?
Well, be fair, last patch it was junglers that are OP. This patch, everyone realized, oh shit, supports are pretty OP too. Seraphine and Rel, probably strongest champs in the game right now, so definitely a valid ban, and then Galio's just a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the game in a second. Are they loaded up correctly? Oh, they stayed on the same sides. I like the gold teams will always, when they have side selection, pick blue side, and then our plat team will always pick red side, but every other team always picks blue side. So usually the plat team stays on the same side all series. But
I think it's out of consideration for you, probably.
Yeah. I'm sure that's it. I also know that Winged subscribes to my school of drafting, where counter pick is a thing that exists, and you use it.
I mean, if you take advantage of it, it definitely can be. But they're also, strong enough champions that being on blue side makes you a lot safer with your bans. You don't have to ban Udyr, Rel, Seraphine. I mean, just because they banned Seraphine and Rel, that's a lack of champion pool and has nothing to do with the power of blue side.
Yeah, I think that the last couple of patches, I can see the argument for blue side. I think in general, usually red side is the stronger drafting side, but a lot of people like playing on blue side better. So,
Well, blue
my
side
big
has a higher
analysis.
win rate overall, doesn't it? By like a few percent.
Globally, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me.
I just mean like in like across all League of Legends at every level. I'm pretty sure the blue side has always had a higher win rate. Um, and it's supposed to be evened out by the fact that red side, in like matchmaking, is supposed to have higher MMR
Yeah.
than blue side. But obviously it isn't evened out enough. Blue side's just too OP.
Well, let's take a look. I think in a competitive situation, counter picks should matter more, but a lot of teams don't use it to their advantage. So,
Exactly. So
um, anyway, game number 2. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. On the blue side for game number 2 will be Divine Ascension Obsidian looking to close out the series. Coltonson in the top lane on Gunnar, Saturation the third in the jungle on Hecarim, Void in mid lane playing Nico, and Baby Claps and Divine Xed in the bottom lane playing Kaisa and Nautilus.
our team on the red side looking to pull it back, tie up this series as we go into game number 2. Cardinals 29 top lane on the Camille, Hulk playing Elise in the jungle, Wing Nation on the Vel'Koz in the mid lane, and then Karasuda reprising his role on Ashe, and Points playing the Leona. But already the invade, and Karasuda might end up burning his flash here.
Yeah,
Oh.
again, might have to start the game without a flash. That's really well played by Karasuda actually to burn that one. Really quickly done, as Divine blows his flash to try to look for the hook. Sometimes
The
you don't
worry
see
is
that respect, and you just get hooked and die.
definitely it's the my team's bot lane special. My team's bot lane just they'll dodge it. They don't have to burn flash, but unfortunately they don't. That said, against the jungler like Hecarim, not as big a deal. Hecarim not really known for level 3 ganking. Oftentimes wants to hit his levels before he really starts looking for something. But that said, Ashe is looking pretty juicy against the Nautilus. No flash. We'll see if Divine Ascension decides to take advantage of that or not. Something we'll have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I like Karasuda. It wasn't the champion that's the problem, it was the chroma. Just changing up the color, I think, is going to give him a lot more success.
Yeah, I like that, Sometimes you have to make some kind of a change, a mental reset, and even if you're playing the same champion, just swapping up the look just a little bit, can sort of give you that mental reset, I think. It's the 5-head approach there in the best of 3. Ooh, already the poke here in mid. Nico, a champion that has popped back up, seeing a little bit of pro play. And of course we're seeing it in this game. I imagine we'll be going for the Rock Belt. Ooh, wow, cheeky little E there.
I don't think it'll be the Rocket Belt. I'm pretty sure it's Everfrost after the buffs.
So that's what I thought last time when we talked about it last week.
Oh yeah, I guess we did. We
but then they
literally
went
had
for
this
Rock
discussion.
Belt anyway. Yeah, that's why. Who fucking knows what they're gonna go?
Who plays that champ?
Apparently the champ's just good enough on their own. Everfrost reminded people that she was a champion, and then once they started playing her, they're like, oh, Rocket Boat. I wonder what the most played is.
That wallop didn't look like it hit Cardinals, but it did, I guess. Really kind of interesting. Points and Karasuda push for level 2, but they let Divine hit it, and this time that's a much cleaner level 2 engage from Points as they take him down. First blood for Karasuda is a lot more comfortable. Cardinals is in trouble. He flashes away, but the repel from Hulk trying to get on top of Coltonson. He has his flash left. Oh, Points underneath turret gets the stun up onto Baby Claps, but in comes the Hecarim still looking for that cocoon. Not quite going to land, but the execute from Hulk is there. As Karasuda still trying to kite back out, but Baby Claps finishes him off with that stack of the passive. Points trying to engage into that. He will trade it back, luckily for him, as Saturation takes the second kill. So 2-2 in the bottom lane, but the extra kill goes to Hulk in the top lane.
And really well played there by Hulk. Was able to secure that kill without even having to expend his own flash. So really well played. That said, I just want to highlight Hecarim's path. He started blue buff into Gromp, skipped Wolves, which is very strange. Hecarim does those very quickly. He's usually able to get them no problem. Ooh, able to secure that crab. But then does raise red into bottom lane. I think going straight bottom after that makes a lot of sense. Was able to pick up the kills and get accelerated on this Hecarim, which feels very good for a champion that wants his item power spikes. But it's just very interesting they decided to skip the wolves there.
Yeah, it gets him bottom a little bit faster if that's an intentional decision. Um, and now gonna look for points as he's looking for that ward in the tri-bush, kicks him back into the team. I don't think that Divine can get on top of him. Hulk looking for the return gank and top lane as Coltonson stuck in the bush. The cocoon just a little bit wide, but it doesn't really matter. Just the sheer damage from Cardinals and Hulk will find another kill up there, and Cardinals is off to the races on the Camille.
Oh, and that wave is just in the worst spot possible for Coltonson, that it can be perma-frozen. So Cardinals, we'll see if he decides to, but Gnar can just be punished so hard it looks like Cardinals is freezing it. What a monster.
Yeah, Cardinals
How
teleported
brutal is
up
that?
there. Coltonson still has his teleport, but that's just not a wave you can teleport to without potentially dying again.
Actually, this is impossible. It's so doomed. He needs his jungler to run up there, break the freeze. But either way, he's going to be behind like a level and a half at least. He's walking in that lane. Jungler's not walking up there, which means he's going to have to try and crash himself. Cardinals didn't... he didn't control the wave enough. He should have gotten rid of a few more minions. That way he's able to contest Gnar in it to perma-freeze it. But because he didn't, it looks like Coltonson's actually going to be able to crash it, so...
Yeah, saturation's
Still
there,
bad,
though. Did
but
call
it's
up the
not game
Hecarim
over.
just a little bit slower than normal, but... yeah, it's a good lead for Cardinals regardless.
Definitely. Oh!
I don't think you can really look for
Saturation's
this, though, as Saturation's here. Gonna at least just knock him sideways, not back into the turret. A lot of damage coming through. That Spirit of Dread, not quite enough to heal him back up. Another Boomerang through. We'll make sure the Cardinals is feeling it just a little bit. In the bottom lane, though, points looking for the engaged Divine. Going to be stunned up, and Hulk takes him down. Baby Claps will be able to escape, but another kill early on for Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk has been so active on this Elise pick, already really liking this look. He's been able to get the 2 kills top and now the kill first team bottom as well. Just very good, and now starting up the Dragon, really taking advantage of this pick. You know, Elise needs to snowball in order to be useful, and Hulk is definitely doing just that. You know, very well so far.
Yeah, you'll even call down Wing Nation just to make sure that this is secure, and... I almost left it there for a second, but Hulk will finish it off with an auto attack. 5-2 for RotM, 1,500 gold lead early, and their first dragon in their pocket. They're feeling pretty good right now.
By the way, before we get spoiled and see what Nico ends up going for, looking at the stats, the most bought on this patch is in fact Rocket Belt. Has twice as many purchases as Everfrost and a higher win rate, though as we see Saturation looking in, not going to go for it. The highest win rate is actually Night Harvester.
Oh.
Apparently has a 60% win rate if you buy it, so there we go.
Alright, well, so far just the Doran's Ring as well as the Dark Seal inventory for Void.
Oh,
Flash over the wall from Hulk. He's got nowhere to go. Lifeform Disintegration Ray finishes him off. What a play by Hulk.
Yeah, he took the angle. He was waiting there for quite a while. He's able to get the Flash Cocoon over the wall. Points is going in here onto Baby Claps.
Yeah,
oh, but
really
the damage is being
out.
traded back.
Yeah, the damage mitigation on Leon is pretty good, as it turns out. Helps equalize that trade. They'll even call in a Hulk. They're looking for the re-engage right on cooldown. Force the cleanse out of Baby Claps. Cocoon not quite going to land. Hulk, unfortunately, into tower range. Needs to get out of there. Has the repel to safety.
Oh, and that was the heal burnt by Karasuda, actually. Worried about his jungler's life, wanted to make sure he was able to escape there and ends up burning it. But either way, the cleanse here from Kaisa, I really like that decision. It's very respectful against an Elise, against an Ashe, against the Leon. I think it's absolutely the correct call. You know, a lot of players don't want to go for the cleanse. They'd prefer just the combat effectiveness of heal, but I think cleanse is just going to prove invaluable this game. And look at that CS lead already.
Yeah, the top
Baby
and mid lane
Claps.
both pretty tilted to RotM in terms of CS. Coltonson trading back a couple of autos. He'll be able to collect a little bit of this wave. Actually, both top laners really struggling to right-click the minions so far in this game.
Yeah, no, especially with how much of a lead Cardinals had, it just feels like he's not quite getting those last hits. Oh no, and he's leaving his wave. He went in for a ward, but his wave is just in the worst spot. You have to crash that before you leave. He's missing out on so much gold and XP.
Oh, the Gnar back in the wall. Again, doesn't really matter to throw out that Gnar. Every time you transform, basically, it comes up, so you can use that pretty aggressively.
Yeah, no worry at all there. I'm not sure that we highlighted it, but Omnistone was the choice for Cardinals this game, which is different. I don't think it's bad. I think, into range matchups, it can be okay. But, normally you would expect to see Conquer or Grasp, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to proc either one of those in this lane specifically, so if you're looking for laning power, I think that the Omnistone's a good call. You could
The other
also
option would be just
yeah,
Comet.
Yeah, just a straight Comet is fine. Camille's so adaptable. So, like, Omnistone, I don't think there's really a bad key, like, you can get usage out of pretty much every keystone as Camille.
Yeah, I'm debuting my Glacial Augment Camille Jungle tomorrow, so everyone tune in for that.
You can get usage out, like, you can...
Indeed, any champion can auto attack and can get usage out of. But no, I feel where you're coming from. More so than a lot of other champions, Camille is very versatile.
Flash hook from Divine looking for points as they call in saturation. They're going to knock down Karasuda to start that one off, and points
ends up picking them up.
Has to flash away.
Respect Flash there. He knows that Hecarim can follow it, the ultimate. So ends up just expending it there. Make sure that he's able to get out. In saturation, really? That's his first kill participation since that very first gank bottom, 7 minutes ago. So after the acceleration, hasn't done a whole lot with it. Is in fact 4 camps behind Hulk, which in this matchup, again, Elise can't farm very quickly. Hecarim known for farming very well. But he's very far behind, actually. Just not at all how you'd expect that to go.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight just the experience difference in bottom lane between, well, both of them. Like, it's a 1-level advantage for Baby Claps, and Divine allowed that level 6 to happen for the Nautilus. He pulls the depth charge out, and that's what sets up the kill.
Yeah,
it's a while ago now. But, yeah.
Very far ahead now here in this bottom lane. Looking at 20 CS lead, the full level on both sides. And just so much pressure being applied throughout this lane phase. And this wave is slow pushing away from our team's bot lane. So with Hecarim in the area, this is very scary for them. Hulk's on his way down, but he's going to meet a couple people in the river.
Yeah, the hotshot actually spots out the Hecarim. The Tingle Barbs exchanged with the Cocoon mean that Void and Hulk are going to be able just to walk away onto opposite sides of the rift. Look at the ward coverage, though, from DAO. They're able to spot wings sliding down. They know any movements of the bottom lane. This is really clinical by them in terms of their vision control around this bottom side. In saturation, gonna look for the gank, gets the Onslaught of Shadows back, doesn't get the knockback with the charge, but I don't think that it really matters. Saturation has to finish off the kill, was trying to give it over to Kaisa, but eventually just gonna take that with the Q swing.
Yeah, and bot lane, Karasu's just sort of been left out to dry at this point. Our team, though, pushing in mid, able to pick up a couple of plates here, but they are going to lose the dragon.
Divine's in trouble. That was spicy. All right.
Divine just not respecting just how much CC
they
our
have to
team
be careful,
has.
though. Now they don't have the Solar Flare available. Flash forward from Hulk, not able to find the Cocoon. Trying to get some damage down onto Baby Claps. Doesn't have the Repel available.
600.
The Pop Blossom is pretty good as Cardinals jumps in with the Hextech Ultimatum. Its fight is kind of a mess. Winged is doing quite a bit of damage from the backside, but does he have enough to actually win the fight? Gets thrown back into the wall by Coltonson, and the auto attack from Void chases him down. Karasuda here fresh off of the respawn, but I don't think that he and Cardinals can combine for anything. That'll be a 2 for 3 in favor of Divine Ascension Obsidian.
Yeah, and those our team just sort of being a little bit out of position there, end up being caught in between multiple members of Divine Ascension. Hulk went in for the aggressive flash, trying to insta one-shot Kaisa, but Kaisa's able to get away and pick up the 600 gold bounty, which means now very strong on this Kaisa if she wasn't before. Has the serrated Dirk, has the finished Gale Force, which means an evolved Q and just so much damage coming out of this Kaisa. Definitely the person to keep an eye on in these fights. If Kaisa stays alive, then Divine Ascension is going to be very difficult to deal with.
Well, we have our answer from Void, by the way. That's an Everfrost.
Oh, indeed. Which I think makes sense because Elise, Camille, Leona all went to come in onto you. So Everfrost is probably better when the enemy team wants to engage onto you, and then Protobelt is probably better when you are the team that has to engage.
Um, what what type of item is Everfrost? Oh, never mind. Not gonna get to look at it. Divine gets stunned up by points into the cocoon. A lot of damage coming through, but he's able to stay alive, just tanking through it. Eventually, Hulk finishes him off, but they're trying to turn this back around. Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands onto Saturation. The Pot Blossom from Void, though, locks up Karasuda, will take him down with the Everfrost. Hulk just fighting with Baby Claps. Cardinals is here on the backside, getting some autos down, does finish that one off, but Hulk falls to the Kaisa as Wing Nation comes in, hits the Plasma Fission for 1 kill, looking for a little bit more. The knockup lands, and it's a double kill for Karasuda on the backside of that. Wing should have added that one more. Ellis would be mad at him for passing up 25 gold for free, but...
True. But a fight that looked really good there by Divine Ascension ends up getting turned around on the backside by Hulk, who was just so strong, was able to basically 1v1 the Kaisa, and then Cardinals with the teleport coming in, able to clean it up with the help of Wing Nation. And ROTM, definitely what they needed, able to trade evenly there, and they do still have the gold lead. Despite Kaisa being massive, they're still up 2k, and a lot of that's on the top side of the map. Just, Camille's very strong now. Elise, of course, very strong, and then they'll cause as well.
Oh, they're looking
Divine
for
might get caught here.
Yeah, not quite able to find the Zenith Blade. To return to my earlier question, is Everfrost just like a staff?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm awful with these. There's a lot of the new items that I didn't realize were actual
Colton's
things.
in a lot of trouble. The wallop for the disengage potentially, but the hookshot to follow. Cardinals not able to find the tactical sweep, but he's got the autos down. Solo kill for Cardinals in the top lane.
So strong now, has the finished Strandy Force, and just so strong, so difficult to deal with if she's able to get onto you. But Everfrost, I mean, it looks like it might be a staff. It's like a cross. I don't know. I'm terrible with these though. Like a lot of these items, I just didn't realize what they were. What's the one that gives you like 30 ability haste? It's the AP item, Cosmic Drive.
Cosmic Drive, yeah.
I didn't realize that was supposed to be like, what is it, like a helmet or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looked like a pretty picture to me. A lot of these, it didn't occur to me that they're things. They're actually pictures of something.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Well, I'm not going to get to talk about it. Cardinals is in a little bit of trouble. He gets knocked back by Saturation, forced to use the hook shot back away. Gets hit by the Onslaught of Shadows and followed up with by the Stride Breaker from Gnar. Will secure the kill for Saturation. He's 5-2 on the pony.
And that's 800 gold, a massive injection of gold straight into that pony. Is going to be very scary, but that's it. RTM pushing up this mid wave. Hulk is hanging out around the corner. He might be able to look underneath. Oh,
good
wow.
Gale Force dodge on the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Points is down, unfortunately taken by Divine. All of that work done by Baby Claps. He'll at least get the kill onto Karasuda for his trouble. Really well played by the bottom lane of DAO. Coltonson gets caught by the Plasma Fission, forced to use that Stride Breaker to get away. The snare lands from the Everfrost, but it just doesn't matter. He's disintegrated by Wing Nation.
Yeah, no, this duo of RTM, Hulk and Wing Nation, if they land one CC ability, then they're just going to drop everything, and they should be able to kill pretty much anyone. It looks like they're trying to contest the Dragon. Cardinals is on his way, but I don't know if they'll be here in time. Might be able to pick up some kills on the backside, though.
Still looking to contest. That Cocoon just
Cardinals
not quite there. Cardinals jumps in with the hook shot, finds Divine. The slow doesn't land from the tactical sweep, but Hulk over, looks in. The Hextech Ultimatum is used. Saturation gets caught by the Cocoon, and they'll find 2 kills on the end of that one.
Saturation getting bait just a little bit. He didn't want to leave his support behind to die. Ends up giving his life as well. So yeah, RTM doesn't get the Dragon, but they do get a couple kills on the backside.
I really like these combos that we've seen between Hulk, Winged, and Cardinals. These 3 members of RTM look like they're working really well together, and Points and Karasuda look like they're kind of on a different page from the rest of the team, and that's been a little bit rough so far in these first 2 games. We'll see if they can turn it around. They're getting some gold back off of that turret for Karasuda. Hopefully he'll be feeling a little bit more comfortable here.
Definitely. It can be hard, I think, to be in tempo on the game and be where the lifeblood is. You can sometimes lose that feeling, you know, once you start falling behind. So we'll see if our team's able to, you know, change that up a bit and sort of fix that, you know, all be on the same page and in the same place at the same time. At some point, that next objective, Sheila is going to leave us here very shortly, and we're going to be left with the Baron Nashor himself. Be the next big objective. Dragon in a few minutes, though.
Ooh, he's
Cardinals.
got the phase rush to get on top of Coltonson. He's nowhere near Mega, but walking into the onslaught of Shadows from Saturation. Cardinals getting turned around on one more auto isn't quite going to do it, but the house comes down on him, and Coltonson turns that one back around just a little bit too aggressive off of that initial trade from Cardinals.
Cardinals so strong at this point on this Camille. Felt like he could take any fight. Ends up chasing a little bit too far, and good on Saturation to be in the right place at the right time, and that pick might mean Baron for Divine Ascension. They're starting it up, but Vel'Koz is here. Vel'Koz does so much damage over the wall. Might be able to get some picks.
Oh, here it is, the combo. He just eliminates Gnar. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands. Baron just doing his damage, and it's a double kill for Wing Nation over the wall.
Oh!
Hulk is on top of it. We're looking for the Baron, still 3,000 health left as Hulk flashes out of the pit, still looking for more. Divine is low. The Pop Blossom from Void isn't doing a whole lot of work back on the backside of that. Hulk and Wing Nation combined for 2 kills, and they'll be able to pick up the Baron.
Yeah, Points did a good job on the backside of that, leashing the Baron, making sure that it didn't start healing, but
Void is in
Divine
trouble.
Ascension. Oh, he
that's the
ulted on
clone.
one!
Oh, no.
Oh, Sag.
That was a weird little play because the clone ran directly into the wall, and like, I feel that. Yeah.
But Divine Ascension got the pick, got a little bit aggressive, thought that they could do the Baron, but Wing Nation is just so strong at this point. Over the wall, was able to kill 2 members, and then our team chases it the rest of the way down. And well played by our team to make the best of a bad situation after Cardinals got caught out there.
Yeah, 20-14 in kills, about a 6,000 gold lead for ROTM. They're actually still down in Dragons, but it's a Cloud Soul, which is, you know, very middling on both of these teams. As Wing in trouble, gets ulted on by Saturation, but his boy Points is here to try to turn this back around, and the ultimate's back up, the Lifeform Disintegration Ray plus the Ignite. He's got the flash over the wall even, just kind of styling here for game number 2, but gets hit by the Void Seeker. The dive in from Kaisa will be the shutdown onto Wing Nation as Karasuda gets caught for his trouble. Double kill for Baby Claps as Points has to flash over the wall, and he's going to run right into Void.
Oh, no.
The Tangle Barbs didn't connect. The Everfrost will land though as Baby Claps gets into range. The Pop Blossom snares him up. He's going to go out fighting like a man at least. Not that women can't also fight. I always realize the inherent sexism in some of the things I say immediately after saying them.
What the fuck, Aaron?
What
God,
the
that's
fuck, Maris? Cardinals is in trouble as he's getting autoed down, but he's got the Hail of Blades to try to turn that one back around. But the damage from Coltonson is just continuing to stack up. He flashes forward for the Gnar into the wall and finds the solo kill.
Yeah, and just so much action across the board here. Neither team is letting up. You know, our team with the Baron wasn't content just to push out some waves, and they're just fighting across the map. I don't know, it's just so aggressive across the board here.
Yeah, Cosmic Drive is going to be the finished up item for Wing Nation. There's your helmet you were mentioning.
Yeah, see, it didn't occur to me that, you know, like, is a helmet. It just looked like a picture of a thing.
They're continuing just to try to kill Cardinals over and over again. He's 1 in 6 on the Ashe, not quite able to find home on the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. And the exchange of ultimates between the Hecarim and Ashe probably benefits ROTM, honestly. In goes Coltonson, the Gnar into the wall is good, into the Pop Blossom. Really good combo from Divine Ascension, but there's still some health bars. Hulk and Point still left alive, but it's just not going to be enough. It's a double kill, a triple kill for Baby Claps even, looking for a little bit more. Karasuda falls, the quadra kill. Baby Claps a couple more autos, but Cardinals isn't going to give it to him. Just the quadra kill for the Kaisa and the look for the Dragon.
Wow, and that's just the power of this team composition with its team fighting there on display is a great gnar from Coltonson was able to get everyone into the wall and prepare them for the Nico, and just a complete and total wipe there by Divine Ascension. Cardinals barely limping away while Divine Ascension was down 4K. They ended up pushing in. They didn't have priority. They weren't there first, but still able to make their mark and show that they still have a really strong team fighting composition. And
Yeah,
when you're the team with the least, and that's where a lot of your power is, once you start losing fights, it gets really scary. Uh, just because you might be outscaled.
yeah, and Baby Claps 15 kills in game number 1, 12 already here in game number 2. Just having a monster performance these first 2 games. But we'll see if our team can keep him under wraps for the rest of the game. 22 to 22 now in kills. Gold back to 1,000 as DAO kind of catches the team fight that they need. I was gonna say catches the throw, but it really wasn't. Like that was just a stellar team fight from DAO.
Definitely, but Coltonson
Oh my
getting caught
god,
out
that
here.
damage from
So
Hulk.
much damage.
And he dodges the wallop with the repel. It, didn't really matter because he got narred into the wall immediately afterward. And Wing's going to be the beneficiary of that one, picking up his 7th kill on the Vel'Koz.
Yeah, so Elise has 3 completed items, has the Sork boots, and there's a distinct lack of magic resist on the side of Gnar, meaning if you catch that little Gnar out, he is going to get blown up. It feels like an oversight from Nard. There is no MR in his inventory so far. At least super strong. This Vel'Koz super strong. Now hopefully rectifying that. I saw Hecarim buy the Null Magic Mantle and I was excited, but no, Nar still lacking very much in that department.
Yeah, take a quick gander at some of these items. The Zanya's Hourglass for Hulk feels very nice to have for him. Gives him another form of invulnerability. Phantom Dancer finally completed for Karsuda. You got 3 items on the other side, though, for Baby Claps, as he's able to finish up his Runaan's Hurricane and is well off to his 4th item. Actually completes it right there. There's the Navori Quick Blades.
Navori Quick Blades, not an item you see a whole lot. But on a champion like Kaisa, it can be pretty good. Every single time you crit, it lowers the cooldown of all of your basic abilities. So that's going to mean more invisibility, more attack speed steroids, more Q nukes. So just a lot of damage coming out from this Kaisa. I'm not sure it's the best item, but it's certainly a fun item.
Yeah.
And when you're this far ahead, you're going to do a shitload of damage no matter what you buy.
Yep, Baron returning to his pit now here in 2 seconds, and it looks like DAO's got a little bit better vision control around the area. Still a little bit there for ROTM to try to stand on. Cardinals has his teleport available, as does Coltonson. Voids is almost up to represent all of the teleports. Couple of whiffed skill shots on the Scuttle Crab, but he'll eventually fall for Divine Ascension, and as they gather control, Karsuda doing his best to just try to wave clear here in mid against the onslaught from DAO, but forced to back up. Cardinals is even being shoved back by Coltonson in this bottom lane. I just don't know where RTM is going to find their advantage right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of it just has to come off the back of picks here. They have the Ashe ult, they have Leona ult, they have Elise Cocoon, they have so many tools. Not to mention the Hextech Ultimatum, they just have so many tools that they need to try and get a pick somewhere. Because teamfighting is going to be very difficult. Unless they play really far back, just max range with the Vel'Koz, that could also be a win condition. But both 80 carries there are
holding hands on the disconnect button, yeah.
Yeah. And already, DAO setting up around the Dragon. Dragon doesn't spawn for a little under a minute. Oh, wow.
That hook from Divine would have been very important had it landed onto points, but...
I mean, if they get that, that's going to be the drag and the soul over to DAO. Like, that could potentially be a game-winning hook right there that unfortunately just feels a little wide. For once in the existence of Nautilus hook, it wasn't entirely forgiving at max range. And Points is able to walk away.
Yeah, Cardinals gets a little damage down onto this top lane turret as DAO swings back through on this dragon side. looking to set up some vision. Divine walks in. This is the reverse of what we just saw. The damage is enough from Hulk to take that one down. The Hextech ultimatum invested by Cardinals to make sure that Coltonson can't teleport into the fight, and he's even continuing to win the fight afterwards. Has Conqueror up on his Omni Stone looking for it, dives in off of the wall. Coltonson has to flash away, and really heads up play by Cardinals to be able to interrupt that. And now the Dragons should certainly go over, as Hulk does get rooted over the wall by the Tangle Barbs, but they secure the second Dragon of the game. Baby
And
Claps is...
DAO. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say they're rotating up to the top side. Saturation looking for Cardinals. Max range on that Onslaught of Shadows, just can't quite track down Cardinals, and it'll be the successful navigation of that from the Camille. And yeah, again, second Dragon goes to ROTM. They might be looking for the re-collapse, though, as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow just a little wide. Just a couple of pixels separating him from really good Ash Holds this whole series. Oh, the dash in from Baby Claps. He gets hit by the knockup, forced back over the wall. The Lifeform Disintegration Ray just tears through, and Void's in trouble as well. The Everfrost keeping him just a little bit safe as Cardinals rejoins off of the teleport. Coltonson's here just to ward away any other threat, but ROTM has got the damage done. A really good knockup by Wing Nation is able to find Kaisa on the fly-in with the Killer Instinct. They pick off the Nautilus as well just for good measure, and that's 3 kills for ROTM.
And that's Baron going over for ROTM. This Kaisa, with how strong she is, if she ends up falling, then suddenly the fight is over for Divine Ascension, and they're a little bit unlucky, ends up getting caught by the Vel'Koz E as soon as he ults in. Ends up getting one shot after that. A distinct lack of defensive itemization, perhaps might put a question mark on the Navori Quick Blades now. That instead of a, Guardian Angel or something of the sort, but either way, that's ROTM just swing it back the other way. They got the pick at Dragon, they get the picks top lane, and now they're looking at a massive gold lead, 6.5K. Just sort of everything swinging back in their favor.
Yeah, and a couple of those key items coming through now. The Void Staff finished up for Hulk. He's just going to pop with his abilities. You've got the Rabadon's Death Cap as well for Wing Nation to go with his Zanya's Hourglass, a nice duo in his inventory. Sterix for Cardinals, Infinity Edge for Karasuda, all of these kind of stacking up at just the right time, whereas Saturation still caught kind of in between on his third item. Coltonson still looking for his third. So RTM just on the power spikes right now. Even Void hasn't even begun a third item right now. Gets stunned up. Oh my god, Hulk.
Speaking of Void, I wanted to say I really like that Hulk opted for the Void Staff here, ended up completing that just as soon as the tanks on the top side of the map for Divine Ascension were finally starting to get a little bit of magic resistance, just too little too late. It's RTM, after that pick, are able to pick up that mid lane turret and inhibitor.
A lot of damage over the wall.
God.
Baby Claps. Oh my god, that Lifeform Disintegration Rate almost enough as Hulk just 1v1ing the top laner right now. The jump in from Cardinal's going to keep Hecarim inside the Hextech Ultimatum. They'll take down Saturation as Points picks up his third kill of the game just to kind of flex on his AD carry there. They're waiting for the minion wave in bottom lane so that they can continue to crash that one in. But ROTM is in full control now.
Yeah, absolutely. They probably could push in mid and try and end, but going a little bit safer here in the 5v3. They're going to be looking for this bot lane inhibitor. They do have a super pushing in mid. They might just look to end anyway.
Yeah,
Divine Ascension has to look for something. Ice is still massive.
Yeah, they need a good engage here from Divine. They pop it onto Karasuda, but that's maybe not the target that they need. Baby Claps forced back away as Hulk just eliminates him on the backside of that fight. Knockup lands onto Divine as well, and it's a double kill for Hulk at the end of the game. And what a game for the top lane trio of Cardinals, Hulk, and Wing Nation. Really well played, specifically by Hulk and Wing, but they equalized the series at 1-1. We'll go to game 3.
Yeah, really close there. Up until that dragon fight where it sort of got blown open with our team getting the picks. Really well played again by that top trio. Just really solid game there.
Yeah, well, we'll go to an ace match. Game number 3 between DAO and ROTM will be up in just a couple minutes. You won't want to miss the conclusion to this epic series. Or maybe you will. I'm not your real dad. I am your adopted dad, though, so I have a little bit of say, just not very much.
Yeah, are you the RTM father?
I'm still pretty sure that's Shiva, but he's the All-Father, Middlestick's All-Father.
Mm-hmm. So you're even the fake RTM dad.
I mean, like I said, I'm more like a stepdad or an adopted dad.
Understandable.
If you don't follow the stream, hit the follow button, please. We're one away from 100, which is pretty cool. So, yeah.
Follow the stream, follow the Twitter. Drop a Twitch Prime if you got one available. You can just hit that little purple button there to see if it's available. If so, it'll say subscribe for free.
Yeah. Shout out to Marionette for her 4-month Twitch Prime sub.
Thank you, Miss Marionette. Speaking of free subscribes, I said to check and I didn't even check mine.
Oh, Aikato popping off with the 6-month resub. Let's go. That's a coggers for sure. Was that genuine enough? I'm sorry if that didn't sound genuine at all.
I think that I feel effectively appreciated. I know that I'm coming back next month with my Prime again.
All right. Well, as long as we're keeping that up, I do genuinely appreciate it. Oh, I have the draft up, but it's like very slightly off the screen. Okay, there we go. All right. Draft for game 3. You ready?
I am ready.
All right. Let's look at this. There were some champions picked for both teams.
Vel'Koz, first pick, blue one, take away from Wing Nation, making sure he doesn't get to reprise his role. He was very effective on the pick, so I don't mind the takeaway. It's a little early in the draft, but you know.
Yeah,
probably
interestingly, they give up the Kaisa, right? And then they don't pick it, and they also just let Karasuda have the option to pick it, and he just sticks with the Ashe.
Yeah, deciding that, preferring the utility approach there. That said, MF Leona, very strong bottom lane. That combined with Vel'Koz, there's so much range that short range carries on the side of RTM might have a lot of difficulty if Divine Ascension is able to set up their abilities properly.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a tough ask from Hulk on the Kha'Zix to try to find those assassinations during some of these team fights, because it really should just be a big grouped up fight for DAO. They shouldn't really be looking backline necessarily. It should just be very front to back for them.
Yeah, the onus is sort of on Hulk to be creating the opportunities where it's in transition or in the early game, you know, before Divine Ascension hard commits to grouping, to be able to find those picks that Kha'Zix is so good at. Because once people start stacking on top of each other, it can be a lot more difficult to find those.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the game then, as I almost load up the wrong scene
Here, give me
again.
just a second.
Alright. You may have 1 second, but no more. Also, big esports news that no one else watching the stream cares about. IEM Katowice, which is now the StarCraft World Championship, was won today by Raynor, who's Italian, which is very big news. He doesn't,
because he's not Korean?
Because he's not Korean, is correct.
You can see I'm very in tune with the StarCraft.
Yeah, so
Scene.
like round of 8 was 6 Koreans and 2 foreigners, which is better than normal for foreigners, right? And then
So 1 Italian, and what was the other one?
French guy, Clem is his name. He's
Okay.
Clem and Rainer are both really young too. Like Rainer's like 18 and Clem is I think 19 or 20. So they're
So
really
how old were
new
they
to
when
the
StarCraft
scene.
came out?
9 and 10. Because
Gotcha.
they had their 10-year anniversary when Wings of Liberty came out.
Mm-hmm. So StarCraft 1 is literally older than both of them.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, also really interesting is Rainer beat 4 Koreans in the bracket stage. 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 4-2.
Damn, what a gamer.
Yeah, just popping off. Only bad thing about him is he's a Zerg, so unlucky there.
It can't be perfect, I suppose. Yeah. I am ready whenever.
All right, let's take a look at this game then in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, in the bottom side of the Rift wearing the blue health bars, trying to bounce back after a rough game. Number 2 will be Divine Ascension Origin, Coltonson in the top lane on Maokai, Saturation the third in the jungle on Graves, Void in mid apparently on his one-trick Vel'Koz, which will be interesting to see, and then Baby Claps and Divine XZ in the bottom lane playing Misfortune and Leona.
On the red side, top side of the map here, Cardinal Sway Knight playing that Aatrox in the top lane, Hulk on the Kazakhs in the jungle, Wing Nation going back to game number 1 with the Echo mid, and then Kersuit and points with the Ashe Alistar bottom lane. Hulk is spamming his emote.
So you're a big Kazakhs player as well. Which is the best Kazakh skin? That's an important
best Kazakh skin?
He's got some really good. Like I don't think there's a bad Kazakh skin, but which one is the best?
So I think the secret OP one is Guardian of the Sands. Is actually like a gorgeous skin that nobody uses and everyone forgets about. And like the Q Evolve looks really great on it. But I don't know. I've been using the Odyssey one recently. Ever since it came out, that one's really great. Although I'm not a true Kazakhs fan. I wasn't playing when Championship Kazakhs came out, so I didn't get any of the chromas, which is really tragic. I feel like there's some chromas in there that it could be contenders.
Yeah, I've got
for best
only the best Kazakhs chroma. I'm upset. Hulk doesn't have his C9 one, which I've seen him use before. I've got the G-Rex chroma for the Championship Kazakhs. The best team in the entire world, G-Rex.
Absolutely,
they at least had the best logo.
knows G-Rex.
I kind of wish Unicorns had Love had made that Worlds, because their Kazakhs chroma would have been spectacular. I'm kind of upset they didn't continue that, although it would have been very boring because I wouldn't have got it on Rise or LeBlanc, because those just aren't fun champions.
But... definitely. It's kind of a shame. I'm just disappointed that I missed out on it, but that's okay. Oh. Got the level 2 wet in. Didn't wanna knock him up. Just give him the headbutt, deny him the CS, let him know who's in charge in this lane.
So I'm pretty sure the line of thinking is that headbutt just knocks him into the wall and not completely over it, because that wall's pretty thick.
Probably.
It shouldn't knock him all the way over. But
it was a pretty unlucky angle there. Just about the only angle you could take to knock him over the wall.
Yeah, because if you knock him into the wall, you get double the amount of CC essentially, and then it's just a really good trade. Like
extra stun duration.
Yeah, not gonna flame points for that one. If he does it more though, we'll call him out for missing the WQ. But I liked the thought on that one. Just unlucky.
Very, very unlucky.
Also unlucky is Karsuda back to base Ashe. That's a choice. There's the knockup though. Kazakhs is here, but so we're literally saying the same words at the same time. Flash forward, looking for Baby Claps. The Ignite isn't enough damage, but they'll go forward. They'll trade kills so far, but the
Oh,
double kill
no.
for Saturation on the end of that one. Oh, the flash forward, the dash, looking for Hulk. He finds the auto. The end of the line is there. Triple kill for Saturation on the Graves.
And we didn't even get a chance yet to talk about this jungle matchup. Graves, a champion that has seen a lot less play in recent patches, received a nerf, got also nerfed by the jungle XP and gold changes. A champion that nowadays really has to get ahead to be useful, and if he's even or behind, then he's completely useless. And Kha'Zix v Graves, that is Kha'Zix favored in the early game, but now 3-0-0 on this Graves, looking for more pressure mid. But either way, Graves is so strong now. You know, everything that makes him weak is gone now that he's 3-0.
Yeah, Winged in maybe a little bit of trouble in the mid lane as we watch Cardinals scrap it out with Coltonson in the top side. Winged will be fine as he phase dives over the wall. But yeah, just a huge gold lead. He needs to go back and get some more of that effective gold, but still continuing to put some pressure down, just get that second crab, and make sure that Hulk doesn't have an inroad there. Actually looking for the top lane gank as well into the smoke screen. He's level 5 as... You know, jungle's ruined. Strongest man in the game.
Wait, come on. He got 3 kills bottom. He shoved in 2 waves. He stole XP mid. He double crabbed. He should be fucking level 6 right now. That's what I'm saying. The man just picked up every bit of XP across the entire map. Jungle is ruined.
It's ruined.
Either way, it has the finished Noon Quiver. A longsword and basic as boots to back it up is just so strong right now on this Graves. And the big thing is that it increases his clear speed. Already he clears significantly faster than Kha'Zix, and that's sort of Kha'Zix's issue in this matchup is that he has to make plays early and fight Graves because he wins in a fight, but he loses if they just PvE because Kha'Zix has never been all that good at clearing the jungle. So with Graves getting that extra injection of gold, is just going to be clearing that much faster. You know, be able to get that much further ahead.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Cardinals lane Kingdom up in the top lane already. 12 CS ahead of Coltonson. He does pick up the Bramble Vest, so should be able to start equalizing that a little bit more. But another really good start for Cardinals up here. Thank you for demonstrating that immediately, by the way, Cardinal. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, he's listening. He realized, oh shit, I do have a lead. When they're applying pressure. That's it, Graves already on the dragon. He's just soloing that up, while everyone else is, you know, left to their own devices. Eventually he'll kill it. I promise he's on it, even if the camera doesn't want to show us. Is Mountain Soul, which Mountain Soul, very good, especially in the early, or not Mountain Soul, I'm sorry, just very good, especially in the early game, gives you some extra stats, especially on a champion like Graves, who gets quite a bit of armor from his passive, just only amplified, you know, by the Mountain Dragon, so makes it that much harder to actually kill the man.
Yeah, big chunk there from Void onto Wing Nation as he's feeling that just a little bit. Both mid laners have used their teleports. Coltonson actually
potential danger. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say
Coltonson's burning his teleport. He wanted to prove you a liar. I was stopping you.
All right, thanks. Just prevent me from sticking my foot so far into my mouth that I can't escape.
I was gonna say Cardinals was able to get a ward in on the blue buff for Graves and potentially a danger point if Hulk wanted it, but Hulk's still level 5, doesn't have the evolved Q yet, so doesn't want the fight, but you know, with the vision that RotM has there, they might be able to catch Graves out. They know exactly where he's at. Might be able to pick up that shutdown. They're looking for it. Oh, maybe they didn't see him walk in to the
they had some
top
pings
side
around
push.
on him, I think. Yeah, they're,
there we
they're
go.
over on top of him. Do they actually have the damage, though, as Coltonson
no!
tries to turn that one back around? Maokai puts himself in kind of a bad position. The collateral damage, though, from Saturation does a lot, but the pull-in from the Infernal Chains finds Hulk the kill.
Coltonson went in, but Graves was already out. He didn't need to go in. It's a little bit too aggressive there, and ends up giving his life when both of them could have just sort of just walked away. Either way, though, RTM, that's all off of that vision that they had around there. Cardinals walked in a minute and a half ago, placed that ward on the blue buff. And Winged and Hulk able to walk up and collapse. Really well played there by ROTM to get, you know, something back, as they are able to equalize the gold here.
Yeah, again, Points is just a little behind on experience in bottom lane. I do worry just a little bit about that with a level 6 hit for Divine and Baby Claps. Maybe they could look to get aggressive. Doesn't look like they're quite on that page, although they are walking up quite a bit. And we're focused really heavy on this. Yeah, there's the Solar Flare onto Points again. Level 5 right now, so he can't really do anything. Trying to get that engagement back onto Baby Caps, but it just doesn't matter. The tear through on that bullet time finds him the kill. Karasuda forced to flee as well, but the Zenith Blade lands underneath the tower, and Void is there for the Lifeform Disintegration Ray. Divine will get out with the help of the heal from his ADC. And another really good combination from Baby Claps and Divine.
And all day, this bottom lane has just been so strong. Baby Claps and Divine just have applied so much pressure and been ahead in every single lane so far. Really well played as they just continue that. You know, a good roam down by Void as he's able to secure that last kill. But Baby Claps and Divine, it's kind of frustrating to watch that Baby Claps just feels like he's very scared to just press R on top of whoever gets Leona ulted. You know, it feels like these fights should be going more in their favor, but maybe he's just a little bit scared of the Ashe ult. But I don't know, it feels like he's just not comboing as well as he could be.
Yeah, minute 45 to go on the second dragon. It's a Cloud Dragon, which means that we're going to have an Infernal or an Ocean Soul, so high priority should be put on this Cloud Dragon, even though it is a Cloud Dragon.
Definitely. That'll get us. We'll see what flavor Rift will end up with this game.
Yeah, looks like RTM might be looking for the setup on Shelly here, and Hulk is actually going to start it up if my mini-map isn't lying to me, which it has before, to be fair.
He either started up or he is just getting, you know, real intimate, spending a little bit of time with Shelly, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they're both from the Void. Like, that seems normal.
True. They probably have a lot to, you know, talk about, you know, to be able to relate with one another. I feel like Kha'Zix would probably be into a girl like Shelly. I could see it.
Yeah, you think that's the you think Shelly, not Sheila?
No, Sheila's the no, I don't know. You know, I think that he could could go with either one.
He could do better. He could do better than Sheila. Get more value out of that relationship.
Everyone knows that Shelly is, you know, a little bit more valuable, you know. She's
Yeah.
There's only bad jokes. It gets worse. It's really bad.
Dragon is going to spawn here in 4 seconds for either side, I guess, as RTM's called Cardinals down. Karasuda and Points both have their ultimates up. Everybody actually has their ultimates up across the board. This could be a big scrap as Points goes in to initiate the fight. Winged over the wall. 32 health on the Dragon. It's actually secured by Misfortune of all characters. But Cardinal's doing his best to do some damage here in the pit. The bullet time over the wall doing quite a bit of damage, but it's just not enough to find that critical amount. Wing goes over the wall, but can't get back out with his ultimate, so he'll trade his life. But it's a positive kill trade for ROTM, although they do lose the Dragon. So 2 stacks now for DAO, and the Ocean Rift, minty flavor maybe, available.
Yeah, well on their way. Already starting up. Stacking of that soul. 2 dragons to their names. Feels pretty good for them. Oh, and the teleport being expended.
Yeah, teleport in from Void. They might be looking to turn this one back around. Knockup gonna land.
Wow.
His Points is zeroed out. Cardinals is low, but I don't think Colton Sun can quite get onto him. He's got the flash for the Bramble Smash for the kill. And Hulk forced to flash as well. Those all rhymed, and I didn't really intend for that.
You're just a poet and you weren't aware.
Yeah. Void and Divine will be able to continue pushing in mid lane for Obsidian, and we'll see where they want to go now. That was a nice little grab. Void is pretty strong now on the Squidward. Not quite as strong as Winged was last game, but first completed item. Oh, never mind. Hulk looking for Void, jumps in looking for the Squidward we were talking about, but he's not going to be able to find it as he gets shut down by the Vel'Koz. Winged is here looking for that extra auto attack. He does find it. Still has his ultimate available if he wants to pop it, but Saturation and Winged will disengage. Divine and Points both hanging around the area, both supports maybe still looking for a little bit more, but I don't think they're going to find it. Anyway, the first completed Mythic goes to Karasuda, which is very surprising, but now some more starting to finish up across the board.
And there at the end, Hulk just getting a little bit aggressive there. Didn't have the finished Duskblade yet, so missing out on a lot of damage. It just felt like he needed to make something happen. Went in there and just doesn't have enough damage to actually kill the Vel'Koz.
Yeah, look at the CS lead. Well, there's a couple of really big CS leads, but the biggest one is Cardinals over Coltonson. 102 to 68 is fantastic. I think he knows that... Oh, he doesn't know that Saturation's there. There's no way. It's thrown into the smoke screen. As I was getting ready to praise him, he gets caught
so much
just a
healing.
little bit. But there's a lot of healing from Cardinals. He should be able to get out. He's found his way back to Hulk, looking to turn this one back around. Has the Q3 up, not quite able to find it. Gets a little distance. The Ash Arrow just not quite able to connect. He's got the healing left. Hulk trying to scrap this one out with Coltonson, but he just doesn't have the damage either. That was a little bit returned onto Saturation, but it just doesn't matter now. Baby claps onto Karasuda in the bottom lane. Gets some autos down. The bullet time is enough to finish him off. In the mid lane, though, the Solar Flare just going to disengage from Wing Nation as Points is hanging around the area. I don't think that they'll be able to track down. I don't know why she's chasing, honestly. This is a little silly now at this point.
Come on, Divine. Just give us a moment to breathe. As that fight in the top lane was actually so close to being turned, Cardinals was kiting towards his jungler, but as soon as Hulk jumped in, Coltonson ended up doing the Bramble Smash, the Maokai Q, and canceling Kha'Zix out of his jump means that Graves is able to kite away. Wow, that fight could have gone the other way, but such a well-timed, maybe a little lucky on the timing there from the Q from Maokai.
Yeah, a couple more of those mythics finished up. Kind of interesting Saturation opts for the Immortal Shield Bow. Unfortunately, not going to turn into the Bloodward this game.
Yeah, that's okay. We have actual Squidward this time around, so, we don't need the knockoff Bloodward.
Yeah, Gale Force for Baby Claps, as we've seen. Rocket Belt and the Duskblade on the other side for Winged and Hulk. So a lot of good abilities coming through as Cardinal's able just to escape with that dash. That's a lot of damage actually coming through. Coltonson not quite able to get onto him, but going to at least bother Cardinals a little bit. As Wing looking for a little bit of damage onto Divine, has to use the ultimate just to get out. The Solar Flare expended, not quite going to land. Divine flashes forward, still looking aggressively for it, but Coltonson is here as he teleports in. Karasuda trying to kite back away with the volley. In comes the Nature's Grasp. I don't think they'll be able to track anything down with this. They do root up Hulk on the last cone up there. 26 seconds on this dragon, and a couple of ults, important ults down. The Nature's Grasp, the Vel'Koz ult, the Solar Flare, and the Chrono Break all not going to be available as soon as this dragon spawns. Saturation caught maybe on the side, Hulk jumping in. He's got the Immortal Shield Bow, he's got the healing. Will he actually fall? He does. It's a big shutdown for Hulk as he goes invisible. Coltonson just getting some autos in. He's a very tanky tree at this point, but they will eventually be able to chop him down as Points goes in to interrupt the bullet time. Cardinals is here looking for the damage over the wall. A big Q3 as he knocks down one. Coltonson will eventually get chopped down. Hulk dashes in, Baby Claps is down, and it's a big shutdown for Wing Nation. They turn that fight on its head, and now they have the gold lead, and they'll be able to secure a dragon for themselves.
And what a massive throw from DAO off the back of Saturation there, getting caught out. He was so strong on this Graves. When you get that 3-0 start, you are the carry, which means if you get caught out by the Kha'Zix and the Alistar, then you threw the game there. They had a lead, they had pressure, they had priority, but unfortunately walks a little bit too close. Points is able to get a combo off on him, and Saturation gets blown up, and a really well done there by ROTM to get back into the game now. Looking at a gold lead, they don't end up giving over the third dragon, and now they're sort of set up to have a good shot at this game that it was feeling like it was falling away from them.
In a deja vu scenario now, the only two without mythic items are going to be Points and Coltonson. Again, opposite reasons for that, but yeah, 12 to 9 in kills, still in favor of DAO, But now the gold lead, they're getting the dragon stacking, which, like, obviously the teamfight execution for DAO is going to be quite a bit easier. Never mind, I'm not going to get to ask the question I want to ask. Is Cardinals gets caught just a little bit thrown into the smoke cloud? Okay. Do you think that ROTM has to continue playing aggressively now through this mid game, or can they sit back and scale just a little bit longer?
So I think the longer this game goes on, the harder it is for Kha'Zix to be useful, which would make me think that, which is how much team fighting DAO has. RTM probably has to look for some amount of a lead, something in this mid game, continue pressuring things. That's sort of the issue with picking Kha'Zix, is you have to be looking for these skirmishes, you have to be looking for picks. This team fighting is not your forte.
Yeah, Wing getting some alone time with this bot lane turret is pretty good. We'll see if he can knock that one down. Is Void just a little bit slow to rotate down there? Wing, I think, sensing it, he could have got a couple more autos down, but that's at least a good chunk. Still only 1-to-1 in turrets here at 19.5 minutes, a little bit slower of a platinum game than usual.
Not slow in kills, but definitely slow in terms of objectives. They aren't lining up to siege anywhere, no significant split pushing threat, so they're just sort of ping-ponging waves back and forth while they wait for objectives to spawn. Although Coltonson has to expend the ultimate to get away from Cardinals there, who now has almost a 60 CS lead. It's just so strong at this point.
Yeah, and importantly, still has his World Ender available. Gonna spot Saturation continuing just to walk back between top and mid, get a couple of those control wards placed, but now Vision flips back over to RTM as they sweep back through the area. Yeah, what... In this situation, when you're the jungler that needs to get ahead, what are you looking to do? Like, what can you possibly do to force the tempo to increase a little?
So on Kha'Zix a lot, as we say that Hulk is going to get caught out here. Has to expend the flash, but is able to get away. Kha'Zix especially, I spend a lot of time just like sweeping straight into the enemy jungle and then just chilling in a bush for 40 seconds to see if somebody shows up.
Do you feel like that's
sometimes
more of a solo queue tactic rather than something you can do in competitive, or is that?
I do that in comp all the time.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it can be hard, I think. To be effective on this champion, the longer the game goes on, the more that people hook up, like stand together. So you have to start looking for people in transition. You don't just like sit in a random bush. You have to start thinking, okay, so this is where they're going to be in, a minute and a half. So I need to push in there 40 seconds ahead of time and be the first person in the enemy jungle before they've set up their vision, so that I can be the first person that catches someone face checking. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
For Wink is kind of letting him down. He gets on top of Void. He's looking for this solo kill. Still has the ultimate back out if he needs it, and gonna have to use it. Oh, not quite able to get Void, but he dashes in with a phase dive, finds the kill in the 1v2, but the collateral damage is enough to get the shutdown onto Wink. Meanwhile, Coltonson in trouble in the top lane as the violence kind of explodes map-wide again. Hulk finds his killing spree as he chops down the tree. Meanwhile, Divine and Point's going to renew pleasantries around mid. Saturation going to get on top of the Alistar, start shooting him with that shotgun. Karsuda just not really helping him out. Now gets caught by the Zenith Blade. Solar Flare just not accurate there. He tries to turn it back around. The tower is actually doing a lot of work onto Saturation. Hulk is here as he jumps in, but the dash sideways into the bullet time, not quite enough to finish off Hulk. The double up just doesn't bounce off of Points, and Hulk survives. But the Dragon up in 10 seconds should flip over to DAO unless Hulk can lifesteal a ton off of this blue buff.
And he does have a lot of healing, so he's going to be pretty healthy. The issue is he doesn't have the Void Assault available. So jumping in is just basically a death sentence for him.
Teleport expended for Coltonson as they...
Oh, Wing is coming up. He's
already started this in. Wing Nation jumps in, looking for the steal. He steals the Dragon, and he's out with the Chrono Break. What a steal by Wing Nation.
How does that man run straight by Maokai and Leona?
Oh, Karasuda might be caught on the end of this. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to end up dropping, but how does Echo run right by Maokai and Leona, somehow get in, outsmite the jungler, and then ult out without any CC on him? You've got to be kidding me. And blind too, they didn't have wards on it. Wow, that was pretty nuts.
Yeah, a gutsy run-in by Wing Nation pays off for him this time. Otto's just wailing down on points. He doesn't have the ultimate available. End of the line, not quite enough to finish him off, but they do chase them off to that top side, or to the bottom side, excuse me, and they'll continue their siege in toward mid lane. Hulk, though, is found at this target. Void gets separated from his team, and they immediately jump on him. Just eviscerate, well, what entrails he has, they eviscerate, I guess. But they take down Void. That was just a really bizarre play. Like, the rest of the team was there, but he gets separated by a bush, and immediately Hulk, Winged, and Points jump on him. They just, like, Vel'Koz is alone in the back alley, right?
Yeah. Void fell asleep there, just ends up not standing next to the people who are there to protect him, and against Kha'Zix and Echo, that is absolutely a death sentence. It's Coltonson.
Yeah, Wing is
Doesn't
actually
have
doing
a
all right
lot
in this
of
trade. He's
MR.
got the ultimate available. Boom! Chrono Break back in, dives in. Points is there to help his buddy out. Winged will finish off Coltonson. In the first two games, we'd seen Coltonson fall kind of far behind in the early game and then really pick it up in these mid and late game team fights. This game, it feels like he's been specifically targeted and chopped down. 1-4 now on the Maokai, not exactly where he wants to be.
Yeah, no, he's having a lot of trouble being effective, though. Even in that 1v1, I think if he wasn't out of mana, he has a pretty good shot of keeping that really close and potentially beating the very strong Echo, and that's just the power of Maokai against the magic damage champion. But Baby Claps against Karasuda.
Yeah, still looking for that
no.
1v1. They do trade, but Hulk is there to be the beneficiary. He's got 5 kills on the Kha'Zix as he's going to walk into the support, which probably not assassinable if we're being honest. And he'll walk
Why
away.
is Baby Clap so afraid of just pressing R? You don't have to run into melee range to auto him, just ult. It's like twice as long as the range of anything Ashe has. Just ult him. It feels like he just overcommitted there instead of just ulting to finish the kill. But ROTM decided to start up the Baron here. They do it pretty fast. They have Kha'Zix, they have the Nashor's Tooth on Echo, no AD carry, but
Yeah,
GAO just doesn't know that this is happening. They're walking in now. They might
definitely
find
don't,
him out.
yeah. I was going to say, this would go a lot faster if they had maybe like a character that shot some arrows or something. Might be
Definitely
pretty
could be
good.
helpful. Ooh, that is a Maokai ult, I
Yeah,
suppose.
Nature's Grasp invested by Coltonson for no gain, but they do gain the tempo on mid lane. I don't know
Well,
what that
looking
really
at
gains them, but they got it.
Looking at Saturation's inventory, has the finished Bloodthirster, has a Serrated Dirk probably going towards a Collector. You know, is well and truly online as far as Graves Power Spikes go. Yeah, no, definitely very scary, the prospect of someone having to jump into melee range of that Graves, because you will get blown up.
Yeah, luckily a couple of tools available. You have the, Executioner's Callings on Karasuda and Hulk, just to try to prevent some of that healing.
Oh,
Hulk
they're
and
starting it
Karasuda gonna
again.
Start this one back up. Ping's already down onto it from Divine Ascension, but they're very far away from the Baron right now. Just trying to collapse in. We'll see if they can get there in time. 5,000 health now. They definitely see this teleport being come in from Coltonson.
So late.
But it's so late, it's just going to go down. Bullet time over the wall, but in comes Wing Nation as he's just going to interrupt the fight before it starts. The Solar Flare to help disengage, and ROTM sneaks that Baron away from Divine Ascension while they're sleeping. They're going to lose their mid tower, but that's a worthwhile trade. Are they going to base race? Oh, no. All right, well, here we go. Divine Ascension, Obsidian headed down mid lane. They grabbed the inner tower. The Baron buff minions just finally able to get on this inner tower in top lane. It's just going to be the trade of towers. We're not going full Fiesta.
Divine Ascension isn't sending anyone back other than the Maokai. They sent MF back. Now our team's going to be able to recall. But who's going to do the dragon?
Yeah,
Dragon
7
spawn.
seconds on the dragon. Graves is going to be there long before anybody else. Oh, teleport in. Wing
Oh no,
Nation
he's
is
not
going to be
able to
harassing
kill
it. He's here. He's on to saturation. The dragon not going to go over. It's only the third dragon for both sides, so this isn't like big investment time, but it'd be nice to have.
Maokai doesn't have teleport. Our team has the numbers here.
Wing
no
takes
matter
like half
what.
of his health from that dragon. Vel'Koz with the plasma fission over the wall does some damage. Ooh, the attempted steal there from Graves was pretty close, but not quite able to find home as Hulk is able to smite it away. So 3 Ocean Dragons in their pocket and a 4th one spawning in 5 minutes is pretty deadly for RTM. Oh no, Void is separated from his team again. Do they know?
Oh,
Hulk
no,
does
the
know. He
Kha'Zix.
jumps in. The Kha'Zix is just down. Hulk takes him down, pokes him in the eye. That has to be very painful.
Why is Coltonson going in? It's 5 versus 4. They have Baron.
Coltonson's in a lot of trouble as he'll get chopped down. Points is onto the backline. The bullet time is doing quite a bit of work, but it's just not enough. Hulk jumps in and out of the fight. They find 3 more kills, and ROTM has blown the game wide open all of a sudden. I don't know why he was engaging. That just baffles me.
He's a maniac going for that for no reason. And it feels like DAO has the tools to win fights, but they're just never grouped up. They're never able to have just a fair, front to back fight. They keep getting caught out. That means that this lead that they had, on several different characters just doesn't really matter anymore because they never get a real fight off. RTM doing a really good job of catching people out and just making sure that that never, that truly fair fight never happens.
Yeah.
RTM was able to pick up the inhibitor there. Ends up recalling. Baron buff gonna fall off here shortly, but what a massive swing for RTM. Just so far ahead now.
Yeah, look at some of these items that have come into inventory recently now. Yumu's Ghost Blade for Hulk, as well as the Chempunk Chainsword, which is honestly one of my new favorite items in the game just because of the name. Like, what a badass item. I was gonna point out another one right after that, but the Death Cap for Winged. He's gonna do some damage.
Yeah, no, he's going to. Echo's one of the few assassins in the game that scales extremely well. So once you finish that Death Cap, he just do so much damage. It's gonna be very scary for anyone that he sets his eyes onto, especially since Maokai doesn't have a whole lot of MR. Graves
Hulk
has
is
0.
looking for that assassination. He's on the baby claps. Points.
Oh!
Just helps him out a little bit with that. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands onto Graves. They found a new target to maybe isolate. A lot of damage coming through from the bullet time. They shut down Hulk. They shut down Points. They're looking to turn this back around as Karasuda layering in with some auto attacks. Just the edge of that Nature's Grasp is able to catch Cardinals. Winged threatening from the side, but that big threat of Hulk is gone off of the map.
Yeah, they went a little bit aggressively there, and unfortunately the failed combo from Points is going to mean that DAO has a chance of getting back into this game. They're going to be able to farm up these minions for a few minutes and just sort of stop all the pressure that ROTM had. At least until that dragon spawns in 2 minutes. Until then, they're going to be able to just farm up. Looking at items, Graves is able to finish up his collector. MF, does she have enough? Yeah, she's finishing up the Infinity Edge here. And a stopwatch, double stopwatch, in fact. One for her and one for Void. Makes the very hard job of Kha'Zix that much harder. Especially if he doesn't press tab quick enough to see that she has the stopwatch. And to be aware that, he can't just jump in and commit to her.
Yeah, you have the double stopwatch and the double collectors as well from Baby Claps and Saturation. It's, the miniature Elder Dragon buff. You can just get executed if you get a little bit too low. And for some champions that kind of want to play on the edge of the health bar in the Echo and Aatrox, you have to be a little bit careful about how you're managing that.
Definitely. Echo, not allowed to be as greedy with his ult as he otherwise might be allowed to. Is going to have to be, a little quick on it.
Yeah, 50 seconds to go on that Ocean Dragon spawn for potential, the Ocean Soul for RTM potentially. And DAO really needs to get in there to steal that one away because these champions with Ocean Soul feels pretty good. I mean, pretty much any champion with Ocean Soul. I'm not going to just leave it at that.
But especially a champion like Aatrox, like Echo, that wants to be in that fight, and any amount of survivability that they get, it's just extra on top.
Yeah, they'll swoop through. This is a really good ward that has been able to spot out the whole squad.
Do you see Kha'Zix? Do you see Hulk?
Yeah, look at a Hulk positioned down there. Cardinals has not channeled his teleport.
Oh,
now
the teleport behind.
Points looking to initiate the fight. Hulk from behind onto Baby Claps. He uses the stopwatch, just trying to buy some time. Wing forced to ult back away, but Baby Claps is going to fall in the middle of that fight. The Ignite from Points is going to secure that one. Wing dashes forward looking for Graves. They'll find more of these kills. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Oh, they're all dead. It's an ace for RotM. I had that
That's
one.
funny.
I was thinking about that one. All right.
Was that one prepared? That was great.
I thought of that one last team fight, and we'll pull it out.
That's
RotM gonna finish
amazing.
off the game. Points Cardinals gonna dash over the wall. Karasuda to follow. Ocean Soul secured just for that extra dragon control objective. Get a little bit better stats, but the Nexus will fall most importantly of all, and RotM improves to 7-1 or 6-1 on the season. Divine Ascension gonna fall to 3-4. A really closely played series though.
So close. It's so many different points. It could have swung either way. And even there at the end, there's the potential of DAO to come out on top. But a really clever and creative flank there from Holt, combined with the teleport from right behind them on Aatrox, just means that they didn't have any sort of a chance to make it through. Really well played there by ROTM down the stretch to come back after a pretty rough game one.
Yeah, so that's going to do it here for us this week. Thank you for joining us for all 3.5 hours of this cast. Didn't expect it to go that long. Again, some things to look forward to tomorrow night. The UML team takes on the Manitoba Bisons, which is going to be a struggle to pluralize every time I have to say it. That's the UML round of 24 game. So that'll be pretty exciting to see. Hopefully the boys can take that one home. And then later on this week, more games from Gold and Platinum as well. We'll have those eventually on the uh, RotM recap. But yeah, other things to look forward to. Again, I mentioned at the start of the cast, but we've got buttons coming in. I'm going to add those to the channel points tab. That will be the ultimate goal that I'm going to add in, at least for the time being, on there. So if you were saving channel points for anything, that's what you need to save them for. Um, if you don't follow the channel, hit the follow button, please. That helps us out. We're one away from 100 followers, which is actually just a huge milestone considering we started this stream, what, a little less than a year ago? We're almost to the year mark, so that's pretty crazy, honestly. Thank you all for the support. We're at 19 sub points right now. That's crazy too. I, I'm just blown away by the support. Um, yeah. Do you have anything you want to say, Akedo? I don't want to talk over you the whole time.
Oh, you're fine. I'm not really a man of many words, so I think that you wrapped it up really well.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us this week. From myself, from Akedo, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the UML round of 24 game. I I don't know if I'm casting with Lane or Scatter. I think they're both available, but that'll be a fun time tomorrow night. And yeah, then we'll see what happens the rest of the week. But congratulations to both of our teams for taking home the dubs. Matching 6-1 records in our first Legends Esports season feels pretty good so far. Hopefully, we can continue having a good results down the home stretch. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for Return of the Middle Sticks versus the Manitoba Bisons.
And UML is we're 4-1, right? So we have to win 2 more at least. That way we can match the 6-1.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.